Hey, everybody. How's it going? Can you hear me? Ah, it looks like it's working. Beautiful, lovely, lovely, lovely day. All right, so today we're going to get started fixing a MacBook. Are you all excited? May even zoom in a little bit. You get a nice close-up view as we fix a MacBook. All right, so today we have an A1707 that appears to not be powering on. We're going to try and figure out what's wrong with this A1707 and see if we can make it work again. We're going to see how much is not working with my setup since I've come back. So I'm going to have to get my multimeter on the screen among some other things, which I usually do before I start the video. But today I forgot to because I'm an idiot. So let's just get that stuff on the screen. All right. One moment. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, here we go. What laptop do you recommend besides Mac? I don't recommend Mac. I don't know. I use Lenovo's. They have shit battery life in general. You're asking the wrong person if you want me to recommend something that has good battery life. But I was really speaking in general terms. They make a bunch of different machines. For all I know, they may have good battery life now. I just don't really know off the top of my head. Okay, I'm going to have to open this and Flex Board View, which we're going to open up a schematic for an 820-00281. But also assuming this is an 820-00281. It could also be a 923 or 928. I'm assuming this board's number, which I hear nowadays making such assumptions is not very nice. Clinton. Oh, Clinton, I'm busy, you fuck. Clinton. 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 Make the fan go spin. You know, I will try to, Harris. Thank you very much. I will try. But Clinton doesn't really want me to make the fan go spin. Okay, let's see. F3. Okay, so what do we have here? So first things first, as always, we're going to unplug the battery. Harris, we're going to try. I can't guarantee you anything. But I'm going to try, okay? That's all I can do. And my dad always used to tell me when I said that, do or not do, there is no try. And I used to look at him and say, stop plagiarizing Star Wars. But that's that. But yes, there is an angry cat around here. Not sure if you guys could hear that there was an angry cat. He's kind of pissed. He got fed. He got pet. People are paying attention to him, so I don't know why he's being such an asshole. There's no need for him to be an asshole, you know? But he's my cat, so he's going to be an asshole, because that's what he does. Pierre Nov's here. How's it going? This is not a 16-inch MacBook Pro, no. This is an A1707. Okay, so this takes... Well, this already works, so this is kind of stupid. So I guess we have to fix our... Actually, does it really work? 300 milliamps. That doesn't really strike me as something that works. That strikes me as something that's dead. Oh, come on. Yeah, 230 milliamps. Fan spins. That's not enough for a CPU or a GPU to be turning on in this model. Oh, that's bull. Yeah, this is kind of brain dead. This is going to be bullshit. Okay. I grabbed the wrong machine, admittedly. This is going to be a crappy stream. So should I grab one that's not going to be a crappy stream? Or should I just go through this board and then pretty much waste 30 minutes on it when I'm not going to be able to fix it? What do you guys say? TCRS, is it because they're shorted or because of something else like random crashing or some shit? Also, what did you get for changing PCHs, Tim? I'm kind of curious. So Tim, I'll let Tim decide actually. So Tim, static 240 milliamp draw on an A1707, no visible corrosion. Do we even bother? Like, do I take the board out of this to figure out why it's going to be a waste of time? Or like, do we just move on to the next one? What would you say? Again, 240 milliamps, static. The fact that this is not going up and down means that the CPU is probably not turning on and doing anything at all. This is... If you have no CPU or GPU vCore, it's worth trying. All right, so let's take a look and see if we got some CPU or GPU vCore. I'll let Tim decide this. So Tim is going to guide this board repair stream, all right? So everybody focus on Tim in the chat. So first things first is, why is my Paul Daniels multimeter software not working? God damn it, Paul Daniels. Damn you. Damn you, you handsome Australian. You get away with murder because he's handsome. So what we're going to do here is we are going to check CPU vCore. So we got a bunch of different phases for CPU vCore. Should be a resistor around here. There we come on. Where we got, okay, PPVCC underscore SO underscore CPU. So we're going to check that area and see if there's anything showing up over there. I hope there's something. Because there's nothing showing up, then it's just kind of a waste of time. So first thing to do is remember what I was just doing. Ah, yes, I was checking this. Okay. Okay, so CPU vCore. Do we have CPU vCore? If we do have CPU vCore, then this is most likely going to be dead CPU or some stupid shit like that. Let's see what we have. 0 volt CPU vCore. All right. All right, let's go for it. Pay attention, Pete's Garage. Pay attention. He's right there. Okay, so we're going to take this thing out. We're going to let Tim guide this repair. You're trolling with a cat. Why not go all the way and use cockroaches? I'm just too lazy to change my thumbnail because I'm just too lazy to show a thumbnail. I'm too lazy to change the thumbnail from the last video. So for those of you asking about that, I'm just too lazy to change the thumbnail from the last video. I'm not going to make a new thumbnail for every video. The last video I did had a cat, so I just kind of kept the cat in there, even though there's no cat right now. You guys may think that's not fair, and true, that's kind of not fair. You are correct. You are correct. That's not fair, but I don't really care. I don't really care. Life's not fair. If GPU vCore is present, most likely a dead CPU. All right, well, I'm going to leave this one to Tim. We're going to leave this to Tim. Okay, so let's do that. If there's GPU vCore present, then it's most likely a dead CPU. Okay, let's do it. So let's check out GPU vCore. So by the GPU, that's over here. You're going to have some coils. They're going to lead to a little good old current sense resistor over here, and that's going to lead to come on, give me output, full output, not just phase 1 or 2. Okay, right over there. Let's plug that in. Let's see what it shows. Let's also open this thing up. Yeah, you're not getting a cat right now. Sorry, man. I got to fix a board first, but thank you, Jovan. Okay. Okay. Where am I over here? I am looking at the current sense resistor. There's another one right under it, over there. And then there's this little test point over here. Why did I just knock my soldering iron off? Okay. So 0.1 volt, and then it's gone. Now, is that 0.1 volt simply because my probe was moving around? Or is that point... Okay, that's really weird. Look at that. See, the moment that I touch it, I get 0.2, but then it goes away immediately. Now, is that jumping up and down? Let's see. Oh, shit, you couldn't see it. I didn't have the multimeter screen. My bad. Anyway, so check it out. We're going to measure GPU vCore. So when I have the black probe on ground, I'm going to have this over here, and I'm going to push it. Now, the moment I tap down on it, you can see that the voltage kind of goes up for a quick second, and then it goes away. But I don't think it's cycling, because if it was cycling, then it would be going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's not doing that. Notice that? That's kind of strange. Like, it's only doing it when I touch it for the first time. Actually, that's my meter being a piece of shit. Is that my meter being a piece of shit? Yeah, that's my meter being a piece of shit, because the moment I took it off, it started doing that too. Okay, let's move the range over a little bit. I'm going to move the range over a little bit to make it a little harder for that to happen. Yeah, I don't think this is cycling. I think this is just dead. Dead as a dodo. That is... See? Nothing. So when I move the range over a little bit, yeah, there's nothing there. There's no CPU and no GPU. Well, anyway, there's no CPU vCore, no GPU vCore. Well, it's probably going to be a waste of time, but Tim kind of wants to see me suffer. So we're going to take the board out of the case, and Tim is going to get to watch me suffer. But I'm going to make sure that Tim suffers as well. We're going to drag him along for the ride here, all right? We're going to drag Tim along for the ride. The whole board's amperage cycled once from 240, I think, to 370 or so. But it's pretty static. So usually this means it's fucked, and it's dead, and you're dead. Since you delete your Twitch channel because of Destiny's Twitch ban, you delete your YouTube channel because of Destiny YouTube ban. Probably not, honestly. I have a lot more to lose here than I do there. Like, Twitch is a really low cost for me because I've spent I spent 5 years trying to build up my Twitch, and all I ever got was really, really dumb chat and a platform that runs ads on my stuff without giving me any money. I think I had like 30 or 40,000 followers there. I forget how many, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's a little bit more to lose here than there is on Twitch. Like, will I throw away 30 or 40,000 followers? Probably. Would I throw away 1 million? Probably not. And I also don't think he's not banned from YouTube. I believe that he was posing this as a hypothetical. Okay, Tim says this is worth it. It's not really fully reaching an SO state. That's the thing. I think it... Yeah, that's the thing. It kind of like... Okay, if you were saying VCCIO is present but not vCore, maybe. But GPU and CPU vCore not present, that's going to be some bullshit, Tim. You know that. And you know there's going to be no corrosion, no physical damage on here whatsoever. And I think you're gaslighting me. I think Tim is gaslighting me into fucking driving myself nutso on something that's not going to be fixable. But you know what? Tim's earned the right to gaslight me because he's one of the very, very few people that's contributed to Repair.wiki. And we highly appreciate his contributions to Repair.wiki. We really do. You can also check out his business. Just Google TCR Circuit and you will find him. He runs an amazing Mac repair business in California. And he has amazing reviews and amazing ratings because he does amazing work. And I highly suggest that you check him out. He's a good dude. How much does your cat get paid? He gets paid in food, just like my employees. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even give my employees food. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where is this? Hello, Catherine. How are you? My fingerprint sensor on this Samsung S10e used to work better before I dropped the phone 90,000 times. Still think it's the crap kicked out of it and it still works. I'm very surprised. Very surprised. I don't know if it's possible to stream on Odyssey. I've never looked into that, Brian Dims. Don't ask stupid questions, Neon. Why don't you set up a small repair station in your apartment so you don't have to do it in the shop? Because that's a fucking horrible idea. The last thing you should ever do if you want to retain whatever is left of your sanity is take your workshop and bring it home. If you have a business like this, the moment that you have your repairs business in your home, you will never give up on difficult boards. You will never give up on working on stuff. The line between work and your ability to just lay back and relax will be blurred forever. So, you know, I don't mind working. I'll do it 12, 14 hours a day, but the moment I'm out of here, I'm done. Like, when I go home, that's fucking Vandersteins, my recliner, some music, some 90s Alice in Chains and enjoy myself.
Oh, sweet mercy.
I hope it's bad CPU. Fuck you. Fuck you, you Estonian. I hope a bad CPU on your country. Thank you for the money, but fuck you for the wishing a bad CPU. I'm hoping it's one resistor for like some SO state or some shit that got knocked off the board by somebody's fingerprint. Have you had Ursa equipment in your hands? No, but I have played Dota as Ursa URSA before. Thank you, guy. I guess you're cool too. Would you still fight a right to repair if at some point you found out that we are all slaves? That's a ridiculous question. I don't even know. What the fuck happened? Like, I deleted my Twitch, and now all the dumb comments from Twitch are now in my YouTube chat. Jeez. There's no getting away from it, is there? Okay, so the only hints that I see here, and I'm always looking for hints because I don't really have much of a brain, so I need everything I can to go on. There's a bunch of dust in these ports. Yeah, there's just a bunch of dust in the port, so I'm kind of curious if there's going to be any corrosion over here and over here on the other side of the board. Also, I would defer to Tim on this because I have not been working on MacBooks for a bit here. What is this, Tim? All these little squares. I'm not used to this. You see all these little... Oh, that's the Tansla. Those are the caps over here. The caps actually left burn mark indentations in the case. Is that usual? Like, is that on all of them? I don't know, Bounce Off. I have no idea. But anyway, look, there's an indentation for every single one of those caps in the case. Tim, is that a thing? Is that a thing? I don't remember. What is that? That's kind of strange. Those are normal. Okay. Yeah, you could tell I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch. That's what happens when you don't fix something for a while. I sent my iPad to you to get fixed. Thanks for the hard work you do. Thank you, Melina. Hopefully we did a decent job. We mostly only do data recovery on iPads. And screen repairs at non-competitive prices. Think of how much better the world would be if OS X worked on most hardware instead of by Apple-created hardware. Well, don't know what to tell you there. All right, well, let's take a look at this board. Let's take a look at the board. If Apple became more right repair friendly, would your business increase or decrease, and why or why not? I don't know. I don't predict the future. If I could predict the future, I'd be a billionaire because I'd know exactly what stock to buy, when, and why.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Think of how much better the world... Oh, I answered that. I think I said that one out loud. It's always possible that would make the world better. All right, so the first thing that we usually do is we try and look through the board and see if there's anything that's obviously been messed with, obviously corroded, obviously bad. And as you can see, of course, there's no hint. This is actually a beautiful looking board, and particularly the GPU and CPU enable areas over there. Those two intercell chips responsible for that look perfectly clean, because they are. Yeah. All right, so Tim Herman is suggesting to check resistance to ground on GPU vCore and LA300. Well, let's take a look and see. Tim. We're going to have Tim guide this board repair. By the way, everybody, you should check out the channel. Tim Herman, TCR Circuit in the chat. Got some repair royalty in the chat today. Okay, LA300 is going to be here. Looks like in my other apartment, the building is flooding. That's strange, but don't know what to make of that. I'm not there, and my water is off. So, yeah, not much I can do from 300 miles away. Okay, back to this. So let's check resistance to ground on this inductor over here for a GPU 1.35 volts. Let's see. Resistance to ground for Tim. And we have 346 ohms. What do you say, Tim? Good or bad? Good or bad? Good or bad? Good or bad? Okay. Well, let's take a look at what would enable something like CPU and GPU vCore, right? Because we have fans spinning. So we have these two chips over here, UA600 and U7100. These two are going to be responsible for creating CPU and GPU vCore. And now usually you're going to see something that is telling it to turn on. It's good to know that my building is flooding. Yay. Anyway, let's take a look. So usually you're going to have a pin that is where it's turning on. It's being enabled. So let's see if we find that here. And here, VR enable. CPU, VR, and EN, right? Now, that's going to come from R7103, from Allsys Power Good. Now, let's take a look at the other chip. I would bet my balls that this is going to be enabled by Allsys Power Good as well. So let's see. Enable. GPU vCore enable. But where does GPU vCore enable come from? GPU vCore enable comes from EG Rail 4N. Please upload more workout videos. I want to put... Oh, dear God. That wasn't even worth $1 for the mental damage of reading that shit. That comes from U9800, which is the PMIC? 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 Oh, Display Mux. Okay, I'm totally off. DP Mux? DP Mux, I see. Wait a second. Isn't this the Display Port Mux? I thought this was the Display Port Mux over here. Yo, I am out of practice like crazy. Damn. So what is... Either way, okay. So let's go... You could contact your neighbor to ask if he could check. Not really. I'm streaming right now, so not shit I could do. There's not really much I could do. They're there, I'm here. Okay. Where was I? What was I talking about? I was in the middle of something and I just forgot. I was in the middle of something and I completely... Yeah, so I had made the... So CPU vCore and GPU vCore are both missing. However, the fan is on, which means the SO rails are present. So we do have PP5 ESO. We are in an SO state. However, the CPU and the GPU are both not turning on. They're both not turning on because they're not getting vCore. And first thing I want to do is see if they're actually being told to get vCore. So one thing I'd like to do is see if Allsys Power Good is present. However, there's something else is going to be going on here because Allsys Power Good is not what turns GPU vCore on. The Display Mux is what's going to turn that on. Okay, so... let's take a look and see if Allsys Power Good is present. Dun, dun, dun. I'm a repair fan. If that means Apple moves towards being more repairable in the future, which I doubt, then I'm all for Apple at the moment. I have iOS because it was a gift. Lol. Well. Okay. So, might as well check in the microscope over here. I'm going to see if I got Allsys Power Good. Clinton! Clinton, why did Tim tell me to work on this fucked up ass board? Can you bite him? Clinton, get over here. I need you to bite Tim. I need you to bite Tim. Make it hurt. Clinton! 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 Alright, gotta ground myself. Ground myself again. ESD safe cat in the background. Okay. Allsys Power Good, is it present? Don't you spam me. No spam bots. Okay, so all this power good is going to be. Bafang Kit seller suggestions. In Canada's province, a 500 kilowatt max law. Oh, fuck out of here. Dude, first thing is first, nobody gives, no cop in there, there's never going to be a cop that shows up and like attaches a multimeter to your motor. It's really going to come down to whether you're being a dick. What you want to do is, what I would get, I would use, I like ebikes.ca, the Grin people. If you're in Canada, ebikes.ca is amazing. Their customer service makes everything worth it. In the US, I like California e-bike. You convinced me to ask them 2-in-1 rework station. I'll being able to fix things I thought were dead. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so ebikes.ca, Plasmar. They're good people. They're really good people. I want to see businesses like that become more successful. Like, businesses like that are the ones that should be becoming more successful. Okay. So, back to this. Let's try to get something done here, right? Alsa's power good. Is Alsa's power good present? Alsa's power good is present. Okay, so this chip is being told that it wants, that it can do its job. So Alsa's power good is there. That sucks. See, obviously, the nice thing to have would be if the resistor leading to it over here were broken or smashed off the board, and I just put the resistor back on, and the computer turns on. But that's not what we get here at Rossmann Repair. That's never what we get here. Stuff like that is usually fixed by somebody locally that's already watched all my old videos and fixed the easy ones so that we get the shit. Let's see. So let's take a look at what it is that could be causing CPU vCore to be missing. Let's take a long thought here about this.
Oh, sweet mercy.
This is going to suck. No shit, Tim. That's why you told me to work on it. You. Thank you, Meepo. And it's also missing GPU vCore too. Boo. Boo. Okay, so this is going to go in a pile. This is going to go in a pile for Chris and Paul. So what happens to boards like this when they're completely clean and there's no good reason, no rhyme or reason for why it's working the way it is it goes in a pile. And then once everything else that's remotely been fixable has been fixed, then we come back to this. I'm kind of curious. It looks like a resistor may have been knocked off there, though. What are you? It's not going to be this easy. There's no way it's this easy. Yeah, who am I kidding? That's fucking USB-C reset. That's literally a no-stuff pad. Yo, that's how you could tell I've gotten thirsty. I'm looking at no-stuff pads for resetting something, and I'm thinking that there was a piece there that got knocked off. Yeah. I'm not giving GPU vCore 30 volts. Solder ball. Well, next. All right. Such is life. So why is that not why am I not fixing that? Because I don't know what's wrong with it. And literally anything could fucking be wrong with it. If you really want to get into it and go over the many different possibilities as to what can be wrong with this, we can do that a little bit. Let's get U7100 on the screen. So, thank you, Eric. Thank you. So here, we have a bidirectional data line. to the
Oh,
CPU
sweet
itself.
mercy.
So it talks to the CPU, and the CPU needs to request some power, and it's not doing that. That is lame. That's lame. Very lame. Very, very lame. Maybe, Jorge, maybe. Maybe it does. However, since the CPU is not shorted to ground, it really doesn't make any sense that, again, if that it would be, tripping because it's taking too much power or anything like that. Actually, this was already in Paul's status, believe it or not. Paul, have fun, bro. Paul, have fun, bro. 230 milliamps. Fan spin. No CPU or GPU vCore. CPU vCore. Enable presence. No corrosion. No physical damage. Paul, have fun, bro. In my office. Yeah, there we go. Bada bing. See, that was already said. Okay. That is, okay, let's grab something here. What do we got? What do we got? Let's grab something. No? Hell no. No. Oh, man. Yeah, if I worked here, I would call in sick all of next week. Holy shit. What a queue. This is all garbage. Like top to bottom, complete trash. Wow, no wonder people look so fucking miserable lately. Holy shit, this sucks. How long is a piece of string, Billy? How long is a piece of string? Okay, that is trash that somebody else already worked on. That is trash that somebody else already worked on. Wow. That is trash that has no schematic or board view of parts yet. Slot G8. Little to no... maybe. Okay, we're going to put this in the maybe pile.
Oh, sweet mercy.
What are your thoughts on the successful unionization of Amazon and Staten Island warehouse, and do you see any parallels with unionization and right to repair? I see zero parallels between unionization and right to repair whatsoever. Unionization is about people feeling like their rights is work, like they don't have a voice within their company or the ability to advocate for themselves. Unionization really seems to fall on one of two lines. Either A, the workers are actually getting fucked and they're not able to get decent working conditions from management, or B, workers are lazy and want the ability to not get fired even if they do shit work and keep high pay for nothing. Like, it's usually one or the other. I don't know because you don't. No, I don't, because I have no reason to think it's the charge port. And honestly, you don't either. You're just guessing. It's kind of like if my car's not turning on, is it the alternator? I don't fucking know. You open the hood yet? Like, why? Yeah, I have no idea if it's a charge port. Multimeter, screwdriver, eyeballs, brain. Get to work. Figure it. You have to open it up. But yeah, back to the union thing. Like, workers of a company saying we want to get paid better, or we want better breaks, or we want a cleaner office. And like being able to go back and forth on that is completely different from right to repair. Right to repair is the concept of owning shit without a company telling you that you're not able to fix it. And I mean, technically, how do I put this? I think it's probably easier for people to buy last generation hardware to starve a company from revenue than it is for workers to stop working at a company if they wanted better conditions. And the fact that we haven't done that is kind of, anyway. Thank you, Melina McGregor. I don't think it's always a Big Daddy Pap smear. I don't think it's always a. I think it really depends. Like, You know, there was this one really interesting experience that I had 3.5 years ago where I was getting interviewed by a major, I'm not going to say who because I've sworn to secrecy here. I was getting interviewed by a major television station, and they did not wind up airing the interview. That's one of the reasons I record all these and why I don't give mainstream media as much attention anymore when they ask about right to repair stories and stuff. But they showed up, and I asked if I could have something handed to me of the person that was giving me the interview, and they ignored me. And the reason, and I was like, this seems just really rude. Why are you ignoring me? And then somebody came in the room who was an extra or something, or an assistant or something like that. And then when I asked again, then that person handed it to me rather than the actual person who was doing the interview. Apparently, that person cannot do that. Like, they're not allowed to do that contractually because of the union rules. If I ask them to give me something and the assistant has to give me it. And what I found really strange here is that my old store, if you looked at it, it's 650 square feet and had 12 people working there. 650 square feet, there's literally 12 people working there. And you're going to have this additional person show up that doesn't even need to be there, just in case there are basic questions that we have to ask back and forth to do stuff. I don't know. Now, obviously, that's a more extreme example. That's not like the people at Amazon are probably looking for things like bathroom breaks, better pay, you know, the ability to get through their shift without being on some sort of caffeinated beverage in order to make their metrics or some shit. But I mean, like, you know, my friend works at a hospital, and oh my God, like, the amount of mistakes that the union staff at this particular facility make without getting fired makes me never want to fucking work at a hospital. Like, she tells me stories literally every single day that make me just really, really take care of my health because I don't want to end up at one of those places. But it really depends. Like, you know, but I don't see a parallel between the Amazon unionization thing and right to repair. You know, again, if they got the ability to go to the bathroom and get better pay from Jeff Bezos, then fine. You know, good for them. They did something that, you know, they advocated for something and they got it. But I don't see a parallel between that and right to repair specifically. Louis is searching for a MacBook with a defective floppy drive. Oh, the other thing is the fucking MTA in New York City. Oh my God, you want to see... How many times have you been at a train station and you see 30 people wearing those reflective vests and 2 of them are actually working? Oh, dude, you want to see some there are a lot of... There are a good number of examples of union corruption and union waste. You have unions that do good, and then you have unions that do shit. It's not... I don't think it's a one-sided thing. But in terms of Amazon... That moving a little bit more towards the union side, yeah, I'm not against that. That's like Amazon has probably gone a little bit further in the direction of the, you know, not being able to piss during my shift. Propaganda by corporate is the only ones who say the lazy bullshit. No, not really. You could experience it for yourself. Okay. You got to stop copying and pasting the same shit, Neon. You go. People try to be helpful could make it look like or expose that someone else's job is unnecessary. Oh, that person's job was 100% fucking unnecessary. Are you... For the entire 3 hours that television interview took place in my office, that person didn't do shit. And the only 1 or 2 things they did were things that were specifically barred from the other person being allowed to do. I thought it was like that it actually felt to me like it was it felt like a prank. It felt like a meme. Like, it felt like I was being punked. I literally can't ask you to hand me a fucking screwdriver that's right there so I could show it on camera. You need to ask this other person to do it for you, who literally doesn't fit in the fucking room when you, myself, and the camera person are in the room because this office is 100 square feet. You have to be making this shit up. And then they said union rules. I'm like, no, that can't possibly be true. Anyway, but that's a very extreme example, obviously. One wheel updates are next week. Okay, where am I? I upload videos every day, Zagurskis. Most people don't watch them. I don't know. Every job that I've worked at, I've tended to go out. I've tended to try to provide value in different ways and gone considerably outside of my job description to do so. So I don't think my mindset is one that would really fit into a general union mindset. And I think I also have a bias based on just a kind of an individualist kind of view of the world. But in the case of the Amazon unionization, I'm happy to see it. There was some really like garbage videos that I remember seeing them put out to try to get people to not join unions and like the ways that they try to bust unions in this really, really dystopian way. If Amazon shifts a little bit more towards unionization, I have no beef with that. Okay, I really got to find another computer to fix here. Give me a second. No more random union chat right now. Let's see. This looks like it's going to be shit, but I'm grabbing it anyway. All right. Be right back. Gonna grab a MacBook. Yeah, the thing with Lima Vector with looking at the ones in Europe that have been exclusive good for society is like I could look at Europe and see what unions have done good 5,000 miles away, or I can look at the MTA and I could literally walk down the block and go to the subway and see what it's doing, 500 feet away. And it's kind of easier for me to look and see the waste 500 feet away than it is to see the good 5,000 miles away. Admittedly, I'm not really being objective with the Amazon decision. I just kind of want to see Jeff Bezos get kicked in the dick, to be honest with you. Like, I wish I could say I was happy with that situation solely because it was pro-worker and I care about the worker so much, but a part of it is just kind of want to see Jeff Bezos get kicked in the dick. It's a really bad platform to be a seller on, and the way they treat sellers is absolute dog shit. So the way I see it is if they can treat sellers like dog shit, then, wouldn't mind watching their employees stick it to them. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started working on another MacBook over here. This is an A1707, not charging. The video of you doing double-digit reps at 225 was pathetic, but please do it with your shirt off next time. You know what, I don't think $10 is enough for that, but I appreciate it. I also just lost my Penelope screwdriver. Where is my head? I feel like I've completely lost my mind. I had my Penelope right in front of me. And of course, you know what, I'll just have to use the spare for now. One of my favorite unions was when I worked at Model Sporting Goods. You had to join the union. Like, you couldn't choose not to, which I wish I could. But minimum wage was $6 an hour. And the union had negotiated a 17.5-cent raise for us. However, the union dues were so much that in order for the union dues in order for the 17.5 cents per hour to counteract the union dues, you would have to, I did the calculation, I did the math at the time, and you would have had to work about 90 hours in a week. It was like 90 hours in a week for the union dues to be lower than the 17.5 cent raise that you got per hour. That was fun. Everybody at that job was high all the time, though. Like, it was a job for 16-year-olds from high school to pretty much show up at after they were done smoking weed before the end of class and hang out to collect their $30 a day. I busted my ass at that job. I would have loved to have been able to, negotiate for my own pay. But I actually cared. I had this idea that if I care and I put effort in, that I can negotiate for more. Nope, you can't. You get 17.5 cent raise per year as negotiated by the union. Oh man, that was fun. I wound up quitting in a year. Actually, yeah, I wound up quitting after I think 13 or 14 months. They explained to me very clearly, it doesn't matter how much work I do. It doesn't matter if the department makes an additional $30,000 or $40,000 that month. I get my 17.5 cent raise per year as negotiated for collectively by the union. So, and you're forced to fucking join it too. That was the beauty. So you know what? You can keep your 17.5 cents. You can keep your 17.5 cents. Then again, they were negotiating on behalf of 16-year-olds potheads, so. Okay. So this is already working. What? Damn. I don't have a really good day I don't really have anything I can actually go over today, do I? Yeah, this already takes 1.3 amps. Got to post it on it. Those are some clogged fans, aren't they? Yeah, this already turns on. And the ticket says it does not, so we have a disagreement here. It depends on the union, man, 20. It depends on the union. Like, some unions are probably good. Some unions suck. Some unions are good for the customers and the employees. Some unions are good for the employees but suck for the customers and the company. And some unions just suck for everybody. Ugh. 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 Oh man, this queue is just bad. Okay, this one's gonna go back. We're gonna grab another one. Oreo. Hey. Next. Okay, what do we have here? A1707 MacBook Pro. This has no issue description, so somebody sent their computer across the country in a box and didn't even write what's wrong with it or what they want done to it. So I guess I get to guess. If this turns on, I'm gonna lose my shit. When somebody sends a MacBook in that seems to work and is turning on and they don't provide an issue description, it can be rather frustrating. Clearly there's no fun in that, Alex. No fun in that. You ever get a Sphinx cat? I only get cats that are free on Craigslist. If the cat costs money or has an adoption fee, I don't. I got my cat because I had a mouse
Oh,
problem,
sweet mercy.
and the mouse came from outside, so I figured I would get something from outside to fix that. So I got the cat. I kind of learned to like the cat after a while. It would have been cheaper in the long run if I had hired an exterminator rather than getting the free cat. Because it's like the cat is free up front, but it has a subscription fee for the next 12 years. The exterminator costs money up front, but then I wouldn't have had to deal with a mouse. Or, I mean, dealing with a cat for the next, 12 years. But the cat is cute. The cat is adorable. Okay, so let's plug this in. I'm going to see what's going on with this other MacBook over here. What did they do? Oh, I see what they did. Okay, somebody broke the connector. Okay, so we got 2 issues with this MacBook. Actually, only one. So this is turning on. It's turning on, but they ripped off this battery connector over here. So we're going to have to solder a new one of these on. I don't know if you could see that over here. But yeah, they ripped off the little flap over here, and they also kind of fucked up the side of the connector. So most likely they can't plug this battery data cable in properly, and because they can't do that, it's not running off of the battery. That's my guess. And the reason I'm going to be guessing that that's the repair they want me to do in billing for is because they included no fucking information in the box. They literally just included their name, and that's that. So we are going to take the board out, and we are going to replace that connector so that I can feel like I'm not a complete waste for today. So we're going to take this apart. Not really a prior repair, just somebody opening their own computer and then fucking it up. That's my guess. No, it isn't, High Kicker. It's not at all. The idea that somebody may screw up their own stuff is not a reason for old industries to limit people from repairing things. How many people screw up their car when they work on their car, It's a faulty argument. The idea, well, somebody may screw something up. I mean, you own it. You're allowed to screw up whatever you own. You're allowed to make the choices to mess things up that you own. That's your right as you. Thank you, Kenneth. I thought you were interested in it, but do you have any experience with DJ equipment? No, I have none. I've never worked with any sort of DJ equipment. I would try out... Crap, I forget the name. Oh, crap, there was an audio repair shop, and the name is on the tip of my tongue, and I'm forgetting it. Crap, I feel like such a loser here. What was the name of it? Let me see if I can find it. What am I thinking of?
Oh, sweet mercy.
Oh, here, try these people for musical equipment repair. I just put it in the YouTube chat. Give that a shot. Maybe, Wes, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Cats bring super chat. Well, actually, seems like more people give when the cat's not here. Clinton, stay out there. You little Excuse me. iFix is making progress, though. You think it could sooner become a kind of monopoly for them with all the disadvantages this entails? Well, one thing that's interesting is that all these companies, they're not saying we're making parts available ourselves. They're making it available through iFixit. So, iFixit is not particularly... I give Kyle shit for this, and it's probably, like, I should probably stop fucking doing that. Everybody has the right to run a profitable company. But I get it, like, I really shouldn't. I shouldn't hold the grudge this long. This is just fucking stupid and immature of me. I will never forget $50 iPhone 3GS screens in the late 2000s, like 2007, 8, 9, like 10, seeing $50 iPhone 3GS screens. But again, that website was never really meant for repair shops. That website was meant for end consumers who were going to fuck their phone up and then say, I'm going to sue you, Kyle, because you put a guide on your site on how to fix it, so it's your fault. Like, that site was meant for consumer-facing, where, you know, you can't just be selling the parts for your little 20 or 40% markup and call it a day. Or even you have to be selling for more for it to make sense. But the main issue that we're getting at, like with Samsung, is, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Okay, so let's say iFixit is a, quote, monopoly. They're not even, you know, Samsung's not even making batteries for sale. So what does it even matter? No, I think Kyle's a good guy, and, you know, he wants to do the right thing. He really does. But there is a... But yeah, it is kind of weird when it's like one company is going to be the company selling the stuff. I get it. They want to streamline shit. I mean, it's good for him and for his business. You know, he's been working at this for a really long time. He deserves some success, and he deserves some fucking money for his success. That's a Clinton cat out there screaming at hi. Kyle's the type of person that would be screaming on the White House lawn with holding a protest sign, doing a hunger strike or some shit to get something moved forward. You know, in principle, he supports all of this, and he's that kind of guy. He's the type of dude that when he becomes a billionaire, he's going to be driving the same car from 30 years ago, you know? I don't think he's a bad person at all. But I understand your concern when you say that there's, you know, one company doing the sales of it is kind of on the strange side. But again, right now it's just this is so early. I mean, again, the Pixel program isn't even released yet. The Samsung program, which is not released yet, doesn't even sell batteries. You know, it's so early. It's very difficult to make those types of make those types of statements and judgments this early.
Sweet mercy.
I try to avoid caffeine a ton. It's not good for me. But I appreciate it. How important is right to repair making parts available in the case of small-scale startups? I don't understand your question. How important is it? Important to who? How important is it to their customers? How important is it to them profiting as a business? How important is it to right to repair as a whole? Like, I need specifics there for that question to make sense. What is the current state of progress for the bill? It got rejected. When is the next shot? Which bill? Oh, there's like 25 different bills in all these different states. There's federal ones, state bills. There's bills for tractors, bills for medical equipment, bills for cell phones, bills for cars. All different types of bills. Okay. Okay. This is the worst kind. Yeah, look at that. Because you have those two pins shorting. I'm kind of curious if those two pins are... I'm kind of curious if the two pins that are touching are the same thing. That could have caused some issue for the guy. Actually, never mind, because those are all ground at the end anyway. Either way, that's a pretty damaged looking connector. So there's a couple of things that we're going to have to go over today before we get started. And the first is a serious accusation that was made towards another member of the repair community by one of the moderators on this stream. The coder said that Northridge Fix sells fake Flux or fake Amtech Flux. Now that's a serious claim to make. So the gentleman from Northridge Fix actually sent us a tube, and I suggested he send the tube so that we could try it on air and see how it compares with my Flux, because I sell pretty much, the same shit. So we're going to take a look today and see how these two perform. Now, Northridge Fix is listed on Inventec's website as a distributor of this Flux. So first thing is, before we even get started on this repair, I just figured on a donor board we would take a look at how these two Fluxes perform when doing just something basic like removing a chip. Don't project that onto me, Nathaniel. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, this is going to be the Northridge Flux over here. We're going to take some, and I'm just going to put it on a cap like this on the board. This is some Northridge Flux. And let's see how it works when I remove a capacitor. One of the things that I said in that stream where that accusation was made is it's hard for me to understand somebody doing that, even if somebody is a greedy asshole, right? Let's hypothetically say that somebody is a greedy asshole and they really want to make some extra money. If you have a repair shop, your money is made off of work that makes you $100 a job, $200 a job, $300 a job, $400 a job for, higher end stuff. That's where your money's made. That's where your reputation is, right? So even if somebody is really, really just greedy and wants every dollar, why would they jeopardize their reputation on something that is going to make them $400 in order to potentially make an additional $2 or $3 selling Flux? It's not something that's believable. Like, even if whether you like or dislike somebody, right? Let's say even if you dislike the individual selling it, it doesn't make sense. It's not something that makes any sense. Even if you dislike them, it's pretty much a really stupid thing to do for somebody to jeopardize their reputation, that they would to jeopardize a 1-star review by selling fake Flux so that you can make an extra $2 when that 1-star review is going to make you less likely to get repairs where you make $200 or $400 or $800. It's a very short-sighted thing, and I don't think that there's going to be people in the repair community that have any fucking sense of a brain that are actually going to sell fake Flux. Selling fake Flux is something that really is limited typically to, random eBay and Amazon scammers. So this stuff over here, it really does seem to act like the same shit that I buy. So I would ask that the coder either provide evidence for that claim or retract it. Again, he is a wrench here, he is a moderator, and we do need to have standards for the people who are moderators here and wrenches here. And this stuff really does work pretty much the same as mine. This is shipped straight from the dude himself, as you can see on the box. Come on, you piece of shit camera. Lights reflecting on it, kind of funny. Here we go. You can see Northridge Fix, and it literally looks the same. It looks and flows pretty much the same as the shit that I have. Actually, it's different because the Flux on my desk, this is like a year and a half old, and this is a new tube. So this pretty much flows like the same shit. The syringe looks a little different. So so I got this syringe. This is my syringe. This is really old shit right here. This is my syringe, his syringe. But otherwise, it works like the same shit. Now, one thing that people should know when it comes to this Flux, there was a large talk in my Discord about this in the Tools channel, that there was some talk about how the ASM and the V2-TF may have gotten switched because Inventec and Amtech went their separate ways or some shit, but somebody kept the naming rights to something. I don't remember the entire conversation. You'll have to check the Discord, and there should be a link down below to find it. But there was a whole conversation back and forth about how people think they've been getting V2-TF, but they've actually been using ASM this whole time. And to be honest with you, as long as I'm not using that fucking black stone garbage that Jessa loves so much that she uses at Practical Board Repair School that I can't stand, I'm good. Jessa and I are very, very opinionated when we come to our Flux, so I wanted to clear that up over here. This stuff seems to work just fine. And yeah, those types of claims, they should come with a bit more, a higher preponderance of evidence, given the complete lack of sensible incentive structure that one would have for doing this. Like, again, I don't know I know a lot of greedy people in this industry, but I don't know anybody that's so short-sighted that they're going to say, I'm going to make an additional $2 on each of these flux tubes that I sell at the expense of potentially destroying my reputation in reviews for when I'm going to be selling selling a repair service that profits $200 or $400. Like, it just doesn't make sense for somebody to do that. And I do agree with Hugo there. I'm a giant fanboy of the V2. But yeah, to be clear, I was I honestly, as long as it's decent Inventec stuff, I'm fine. Okay, back to this connector over here. Let's see what we got. Paul Daniels complained he got a shipment from Amtech and it wasn't the old original formula. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people saying that when they get Flux from Amtech recently, that they're getting something different. Again, I haven't had any complaint. I'm not a Flux connoisseur. I'm one of those, in general, I can't tell the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $1,000 bottle of wine. Like, I'm not a connoisseur of this type of shit. I have, blame me. You could say that I have no fucking taste. You're welcome to say that I have no fucking taste. But, like, I've been buying this Flux from them since 2015 actually. 2015 is when I started buying directly from them versus like Notebook Mechanics and shit like that. And I haven't noticed a damn fucking difference. Like, it's good enough, you know? Like, does it allow the solder to flow? If it does, I'm a happy dude. I really want to destroy this connector. It's making me happy to... Fakes can enter the supply chain, but I don't think fakes... Again, you have to understand... Inventec was in Connecticut. I believe they're in Connecticut, Deep River, Connecticut or something like that. So it's not even like you're buying from a middleman. If you're somebody like myself or Northridge Fix, you're pretty much buying the Flux directly from them. So what you're buying is directly from them. It's not like there's somebody else who's going to get in between you. And high kicker, again, that type of stuff is always possible, but again, there has to be a higher preponderance of evidence for something like that. There has to be a higher preponderance of evidence for something like that. And again, I just don't see that being the case. Again, the reason that I don't see that being the case is simple. It doesn't make sense for somebody to risk a high margin revenue stream for a low margin revenue stream. Like, even somebody who is greedy, you have to think about it. Even if they're really, really, really greedy, it's just not one of the things that really makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've cleaned this over here. Bada bing. Also, you have to understand when Paul Daniels complained about getting a shipment that was different. You have to. One thing that's important to understand is that Paul Daniels is in Australia. Like, they drive in the wrong side of the fucking road. The toilet water goes down the wrong way. Like, they're all fucked up there. They don't have anything right in Australia. So of course he's gonna bitch about the formula of the Flux. Hello, Clinton. Hello, Mr. Clinton. Hi. Hi. I didn't change the camera over so that you wouldn't be able to see him. You couldn't see the cat. That's right. You were robbed of your ability to see the cat. I'm gonna grab myself a donor so I can put a connector on it. All right. Greetings from Armenia. How do you keep your savings from getting eaten by inflation? I don't. I make really bad financial decisions, and you probably shouldn't listen to me when it comes to anything financial. I think the time to do that was like a year or two ago. I mean, like, if you're noticing it right now, I think you're probably fucked. Like, if you're one of the people that bought XLE when it was $40, you're fine. If you bought the S&P 500 when it was like 300 or 280, you're fine. If you're looking at it right now, you're probably fucked. You know? I don't know what to tell you. I don't think anybody really knows what to tell you. It's like one of those problems, like, how do you... It's kind of like, you know, if you were smoking for 70 years, how do you avoid cancer? Go back in time and don't smoke, you know? I can't answer that question. All right, so we're going to remove the connector from this donor board over here. I don't really understand finance well enough to be able to give you a good answer on that now. Don't want to talk about it, Billy. Some things I've just not gotten over yet. Someday I'll get over that. Someday I'll be over the stupid things I've done, and I'll be able to talk about them and laugh. But I'm not there yet. Yeah, they shouldn't invest shit on my advice, Toxic Waste. The thing is, my investments, the things that I've invested in, they weren't wrong. It's just I didn't believe in myself. And I wound up fucking myself because I didn't believe in myself. Like, I actually got it correct. It's just I didn't have the balls and the heart to stay with what I was doing. Why don't you buy a new connector? Because I don't know where to buy this connector. But I do know where to get this donor board from. I can just get this donor board from the other room. But I don't know where to buy the connector from. Where would I buy this connector from? If I want to buy this exact connector, Pizza Garage, where would I get it? Also, where would I get it to where I have it immediately? Like where it's right here, right now. And I don't have to tell this customer to wait a week. I can tell this customer it'll be done in a day. Because firstly, I'd have to find it. I don't know where the fuck to find this thing to begin. I have no idea where to find this goddamn connector. But more importantly, like, what if I could tell them, you could have your machine back right now. I invested in crypto in 2018 in the stupidest way possible, and no, yeah, not going back to doing that stupid shit. But let's see. Okay, so let's see. Stop copying and pasting. Stop copying and pasting. It's annoying. Okay, so you're at it. So what are we gonna do over here? Hello, Matrusius. How are you? Keep some in stock. Okay, where do you buy it, Pete? Show me the site where you buy the connector. Support.apple.com? Like, where am I buying this from? But also, it's just we don't replace enough of it for it to really be a thing. But a big part of it is, where do you get it? Where do you get it? Any place I'm gonna buy this from is not, like, I can't buy this on Mouser.com. Any place I'm gonna buy this shit from is gonna be somebody that ripped it off of a donor board for me, where you still have the little bits of solder on it. So it doesn't really make sense. Like, the way that we're able to do this stuff is we have a large stock of donors, so that I know I have every single thing I need to be able to fix this product, and that's what really makes it easier. Okay, so let's get this done. You remove the connector without destroying it by heating the bottom of the board rather than the top of the connector. Did you notice how I had the hot air on the bottom instead of on the top? There's a reason for that. This is so freaking annoying. Oh my god. Come on. Jesus Christ. Okay, one moment. Push down. Again, you want the connector to be as close to the board as humanly possible. Okay? But you want a donor board. I'm never going to say no to a donor board. I got a lot of donor boards. Got an A on my right to repair research paper. Thank you for the awesome videos. Thank you. I try to be able to answer and do any student interviews when I get calls. Sometimes I'm late to respond, but I always try to be able to take the time to be able to have a 30 or 45-minute conversation with people. The only thing I don't do is when people ask me to write their paper. Like, sometimes people use very, very tricky language, a little bit manipulative language to try to get me to write their paper for them, and I usually politely tell them to fuck off. But otherwise, I'm always happy when people choose this as a topic. Okay, we've got some Flux on the board. By the way, this Flux from Northridge is performing just fine for this task. Much better than my hand is. As I've said, the Flux really does make me look better than I am. Makes the whole job a lot easier when you got some nice, easy Flux. Just do this. Now what I did there is I just bridged every single pin to every single pad. Is that beautiful? I do not do temporary workers. No way in hell, lazy hamster. That's a horrible idea. This is an industry where it takes a lot of time to get somebody up to speed. So I'm not going to spend all that time getting somebody up to speed if there's a guarantee that they're leaving in a month or two, you know? Like, that just doesn't work. That doesn't work. Nathaniel, I really prefer never having to do that. I would do that with, like, Rihanna or something. Like, real celebrities. It's like, you're not going to get the reaction you want out of me. You're going to get the reaction you get out of a person who hates dealing with people who's used to sitting in a microscope all day. You're not going to get, I guarantee you're not going to get the reaction that you want. And it's going to be weird. Like, if somebody walks up to me and says, hey, I like your videos, I'll shake their hand. But if somebody goes, oh my god, it's stereotypical, I just fucking run away. That shit's that's never going to seem normal to me. It's too weird. I don't smoke weed, Maddie, but I have drank a lot in the past. Okay, as you can see, this kind of looks like factory now. Beautiful. Just too much solder. Oh, hardly. That's nonsense. There's no more solder is going to go on that pad than what actually fits. Are you considering a West Coast expansion? No, I am not. I'm actually considering a contraction of this place. So in September of this year, the time period of having lower rent for this location will be up, and when that's up, and they say this is going to be $13K a month for this shop again, I am probably going to get a smaller one. So I am not considering expanding. I am going to be but I do plan on contracting. Or deflating, as they'd say. Not. The picture thing is always weird to me. I don't know. I say yes, but I don't know if I should. Like, the thing, honestly, the Jeffrey Epstein thing has really kind of made me question the whole picture thing. Because here's what happened. Right after the Jeffrey Epstein thing happened, they went to every single politician that had ever taken a picture with Jeffrey Epstein. And what they did is they would just say, look at this. And, you know, you'd have, like, Hillary doing next to Jeffrey Epstein. You had all these different politicians, all these different movie stars next to Jeffrey Epstein doing this. And then it just kind of made me wonder, should there, and I think it's a serious question, should there be a higher bar for who you're willing to do this in a picture with? Or the other one was Ron Paul. When Ron Paul was doing his 2008 presidential campaign, I forget if it was 2008 or 2012. I'm pretty sure an ex-wizard of the KKK, went up to one, like, he had a book signing or like a table where he was talking to people, and everybody who walked up got to take a picture with Ron Paul doing this, and then one of the people that he took a picture with was a fucking ex-grand wizard of the KKK. So it's made me wonder, like, is it, as I become a greater well-known public figure, should I, like, I don't know, ask for a background check before I do that? Because it's really easy to get owned. What if I do run for president 30 years from now? And you were a grand wizard of the KKK, and I took a picture of you because you said I saw you on YouTube, and I did this. Or, that's going to look really, really weird, It's going to mess me up. Okay. Let me leave some notes for this. One moment. Put in the slot. Are you concerned about a recession? No, not at all. I would be more concerned about inflation than a recession. I don't know, I'm not afraid of recessions. This business was born during a recession. Recessions are not really what scares me. You know, like housing prices going up 20% to 30% every single fucking year. That's way more scary to me than a recession is. Far more scary. But that's just my personal, what scares me. I did Lazy Hamster. I did a video on it. But maybe I'm being a little too concerned about the whole like getting photobombed with a potential pedo. But that's the other thing, Nathaniel. Nathaniel, the other thing is I've done enough of those photos by now that if I were to have been photobombed by a pedo or a KKK Grand Wizard, it probably already happened. So honestly, if somebody asks for a picture, I just do it now. Because like I've done it enough times that it's kind of like if somebody's had sex with 30 different people and then they say, I want to wait with you until I'm married to have sex. It's like, well, you already did it with 30 other people, you know? Like I've popped my cherry there with taking pictures with people. So I'd probably, if somebody wasn't weird and they asked for a picture with me, I'd probably just, I would probably just do it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to think about this now. The time to think about this would have been 3 or 4 years ago before I started taking pictures with random people. But I've taken so many of them that if somebody, at least one of the people that I've taken pictures with is probably some sort of weird psycho serial killer that's going to end up on the news and then get photobombed with me once they find me on their Instagram. The connector is J6951. You can buy 50 pieces on AliExpress for 86 shipping and handling. Brand new, not salvaged. Okay, is AE a real website or AliExpress? Come on. Come on. Really? Every time I've bought some sort of connector like that, I've wound up having solder on the pins or something, and it gets pulled from a donor. Just leaving notes for this ticket. Paul Daniels complained about the smell of his new Amtech Flux. Bro, you live in Australia, GTFO. He lives in the middle of absolute utter bumfuck nowhere. He lives in a town of 3 people. How is he complaining about the smell of Amtech Flux? I don't get it. The smell of Amtech Flux is love. What, like, there's nothing else to smell in his side of town? Like, it makes sense why people like me inhale Flux in New York City, because it's a nice way to block out the smell of the rest of the city, of garbage as you walk by, and junk and piss and everything else. But he has nature. He has beautiful wildlife and trees and all sorts of cool stuff. I don't know. I don't understand why Paul Daniels would be saying that about the Flux. What kind of office chair are you using there? I don't know, some cheap Amazon shit, I think. How can you type that fast? I don't type that fast. But this keyboard I'm actually not good at typing on because it's this bullshit loud keyboard. I hate these loud keyboards. They're very annoying. But I'm good at typing with a Microsoft 600. Here, I'll show you. We'll do a race. You ready? I'll do a type racer race for you. Here, let's do a type racer race. And I will put the other camera on screen. You ready? You ready? Yeah. Somebody just challenged me and said that I'm not actually doing the typing here. This is fake typing. You'll see. All right. Make source visible. Okay, we're going to resize this transform over here. Just give me a moment. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. Okay. Enter a typing race with online opponents. Get ready to race. Yeah. I fucked up. I don't know how to spell raspberries. Damn. Okay, that sucked balls and I still beat everybody there. Like, that was fucking horrible. That's pathetic. 73 words a minute is absolute shit. But that's because I couldn't spell raspberries. Let's try again. We'll do another one. All right. 3, 2, 1. Fucking boom, baby. 130 words a minute. All right. 130 words a minute with 2 fucking fingers. Look at that. Look, we ask everybody who gets over 100 to take a short typing test and discourage cheaters. It thinks I'm cheating. Oh, this site is so fucking salty. It actually thinks I'm cheating. I hate this keyboard. I don't like this keyboard. My Microsoft 600 is way better than this thing. I can't use this keyboard for real typing. It's really like I fucking hate these old style mechanical. I know you're not supposed to say that. I hate old style mechanical keyboards. I despise them. I like the Microsoft 600. Ah, damn it. Fuck me. Now, let me get a Microsoft 600. I can't type on this piece of shit. Give me a Microsoft 600. What? No fucking way. Who stole my Microsoft 600? We have every keyboard here besides this mic. Oh, here we go. No? These are all Logitech pieces of shit. Okay, here we go. Microsoft 600. Best keyboard ever made. I just gotta clean this. It looks like shit. Here we go. Microsoft 600 right here. This is the best keyboard ever made. Here, give me this. One moment. We're about to... Actually, now I see. This keyboard doesn't have legs. This is lame. I don't know how this thing got so in such bad condition. Let's see. I don't know if I can type on this without the legs. I never tried that before, but I still think it'll be easier to type on this than to type on that Alky piece of shit. Let's try it. Yeah, this is going to be annoying. Yeah, as you can see, this keyboard is missing its legs. But this is a Microsoft 600, which is pretty much my favorite keyboard of all time. So let's... I'm not used to typing without this. But it's got to be better than typing on this Alky piece of garbage. All right. Let's see what I do. Okay, if it wasn't for that last typo, I would have got 130 words a minute, but I only got 122. Let's try again. Imagine if I had legs on this keyboard. This is the long one. This is going to be difficult. Ah, okay. I came back for the... That too many typos, but I still won. Fuck. I came back because Daniel was in the lead for Daniel was in the lead for most of that, but I wound up coming back just in time. All right, one more, and then we fix a board. I think I'd do better if I had legs on this, but I'm just making excuses now. No excuses. We win or we lose. Do or... Huh. Ah, fuck. Rage quit. Oh well. Enough of that shit. Let's grab another MacBook. But yeah, point being, whoever said I'm not actually typing, bro, I'll beat you. Give me a keyboard with legs on it and I'll win. Yeah, that's what I put on my Tinder. That's what I put on my Tinder. Can type with 2 fingers. 130 words a minute with 2 fingers. Amazing. Okay. What's next? Slot G8. Slot G8. Actually, that's a bad idea. That one's a bad idea. What's next? A1706 hard drive is not being detected. Okay, so there's 2 possibilities. Behind door number 1, liquid spill on the right side. Behind door number 2, he's fucked. I'm going to give this a very quick look over before this goes to Dan for a shitty repair. Let's see. Don't you tell me what to do, mofo. Okay, so I18. All right, let's see. I18. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to hope and pray that we have liquid around Piccolo, or that we have liquid. I went to say Liccolo instead of Piccolo. Piccolo is a chip for the power rails for the SSD. Dennis, you're fucked. You have a dead bad NAND or bad controller. But yeah, if A1534, you're done. Have I said enough about TCRS circuit on this channel? I think that Tim Herman would feel privileged to get an A1534 with a question mark folder. Okay, where's my magnet? Let's grab a magnet. Got some magnets. Dan did 225 for a set of 12, so I still have 2 reps to go before I'm happy. I still can't believe he did 225 for 12. There's no way that he's not doing some juice.
I don't think so.
He's on something.
No,
I need to tell myself that so I feel better.
if he was, he won't have muscles.
That's fucked
He's
up.
just strong.
You managed to compliment him by insulting him. I like it. Okay, got magnets. A1502 replace logic board, get chime but no keyboard light and black screen. Anyone have an idea? Don't know. Don't know what you did to it. You're going to have to troubleshoot. So try a different screen cable. My biggest guess is you bought the wrong board. I'm guessing you bought the board that was cheaper rather than buying the board that fits. Did you know that an 820-3476 or an 820-3536 uses a different screen than the 820-4924, even though they look exactly alike? They do, and they're not going to work. Fun known fact that most people don't know. 820-4924 uses a different screen than the 820-3536 and 820-3476, which also both use a different screen than the 820-30... Oh, fuck. I'm starting to forget these numbers now. No way. 3462. 820-3462 uses its own screen. 820-3536 and 820-3476 use their own screen. 820-4924 also uses its own screen. So you have 3 different screens for that particular model of computer, and they're all different. And the funny thing is, the screen looks the same to you. It looks exactly the same to you, but it's a different screen. That's Apple. That's Apple. Okay, so this person says their SSD is not working. They get a question mark folder. And the last thing that we want is for this computer to be clean. And fuck. As you can see, there is no corrosion visible. Now we do have a little bit of gunk in here. I'm really hoping that there's going to be corrosion on Piccolo. Usually there's something around the side over here, but I don't see it. I'm looking for an easy one here. I'm looking for an easy Piccolo. An easy Piccolo. You got me there, Rodrigo. That is an A1425. But the screen looks the same, though. Does it not? You got me there, Rodrigo. Also, good on you for fucking memorizing all those model numbers. Don't know, Leonid. Don't know. Louis, when you deflate the shop, do you want to bet you're going to need more space months later? Yeah, that's how business usually works for me. That's how luck usually has it. But there's no way in hell this place is going to be worth $13,000 a month by then. No way. No how. Catherine ordered a new Microsoft 600 keyboard for you. Holy crap. Catherine! I don't deserve this! I provided such low-quality entertainment today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to you and Mia. Thank you very much. I will do some type racer streams in return for that, so you can all see. I'll challenge you all to a type racer video. A 1708 5 volt and charger replaced bad CD3215 and USB mux that a hole in. Now it takes 230 milliamps to 20 volts and no CPU V-core. Tim, are you there? Did your business activity drop or do you not hit growth targets? My business activity was doing this, and then right after COVID it did that, and then it finally started to recover to here, but it's like the growth trajectory was this, and I moved to a place that was $13,000 a month instead of $5,000 a month, kind of on the idea that that growth trajectory wasn't going to go to shit. I pretty much chose the worst possible time to move a business. It is what it is. It is what it is. I took a risk and I got fucked. But you have to take risks in life in order to you have to take risks in order to get anywhere, you know? You have to put time and effort into an idea that you have in order to see if your business will work. You have to ask that girl that you have a crush on out in order to figure out if, you know, you have a chance and an opportunity of a future and a life and kids and marriage or not. You know, life is all about taking risks, and sometimes those risks go very well, and sometimes those risks go very bad. And you have to take the good with the bad. Thank you, Catherine. You're too kind. What happened to Rossmann Real Estate? I found a store. The series ended. LOL, Reese. Yes, that 10K views a video YouTube cache. Tell me more. Hello, Vladimir. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything's going well with you as the world seems to lose its shit. It is what it is. See, Cook, sometimes you make good decisions, sometimes you make bad decisions. Life is all about... Like, what I've learned is that life is not really so much about the good decisions, it's how you recover from the bad ones. You gotta be able to recover from the stupid shit that you do. Being able to recover from the dumb stuff that you do matters a lot. And at some point, admittedly, I would just prefer to, I'd like to just make more right decisions, but you can't beat yourself up endlessly. Although I most certainly try. Where can I find iPhone seller components? The internet. Where can I start learning about repairing? I don't know, here? YouTube.com/Rossmann Group? Don't watch these videos. These videos are shit. Like the older ones. The videos that I were doing from like 2014 through 2021. There's a playlist, MacBook component level board repairs. About 600 videos. Yeah, like the 2014 through 2021 is decent. Any of the 2022 board repair videos that have me in it are shit. The ones with Paul are pretty decent. But you've done reviews, food, tools, music. Food reviews I don't think I'd do, because it's like you can't... Yeah, I don't think I'd do food reviews. I don't know. I've done tool reviews on here, but... Indeed, Katana, such is life, you know. On to the next thing. On to the next. What are you gonna do? Cannot cry over spoiled milk. Okay. You know what I can cry over? Piccolo not being corroded. Come on, give me one that makes a little bit of sense. And you are literally the cleanest board I've ever seen in my life. Really? Oh, this is so obnoxious. You are so obnoxious. You know, it really is something. Like, these boards are... This board is now 6 years old. So all of these boards with soldered-on SSDs are old enough that it's conceivable that the onboard flash is dead. What do you do now? Yeah, that's interesting. Well, what I do with this, I give it to Paul. Travis says you can cry over anything you want, but is anyone going to listen? Nope. And at the end of the day, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any good. All right, Paul. All right. We're going to leave a note for that for my good friend Paul. Paul S. All right. Good luck with that, SKK. Where do you get it from? How do you program it to the machine? Is it economically viable? Oh, they're never going to find a replacement Avituver, but the thing is, they're stubborn. So how to put this? I'm going to try to... Have you ever met somebody that had really insane relationship standards, like just really, really unrealistic relationship standards? And you tell them, listen, I'm not the biggest catch in the world, I get that. But if this is your standard and this is what you're offering, you're probably going to be alone. And then when you're 50, you're really going to fucking regret this, but by then it's going to be too late. Have you ever had that experience? I don't know if you've had that experience or not. New York City landlords is very much the same thing. Like I could have a conversation and say, listen, every fucking store in this neighborhood says retail space for lease. They all say retail space for lease. Nobody is going to give you $13,000 for this. However, they will be so aggravated at me offering them something less that there's a good chance they'd rather let it sit there collecting nothing than take my, $5,000 to $10,000. So it's like, and the way that I know that's true are the number of spaces where I offered them something very, very reasonable that are still empty right now. And every now and then, just for the fuck of it, I'll call up using Google Voice or something, pretending to be someone else, and ask if they're open to taking it for even like 5% less than they had it listed for, and they'll still say no. So they're totally okay with it being empty forever if they don't get the exact number that they want. Now, I don't think that makes business sense, but it's likely that they know something that I don't know. It's likely they don't, it's likely that there's something in the equation there that I'm not 100% familiar with. Oddly specific, says Rasmus. Yes, oddly specific. Oddly specific. But we will... Strangely odd. Yes, yes. That's a long fucking story. There are some people that, okay. I don't want to invest in Sri Lankan. Stop, go away. Stop spamming me with that shit. I took out the... I have a friend like that. His appearance standard of the partner is basically A-list fashion model. He weighs nearly 300 pounds at 5'9". Yeah, like that's the kind of thing. Like there are men that, like they make $50,000 a year. They have a beer belly. They're short, and they didn't finish high school, and they have no hobbies. And they're like, I want a woman that's a 9 out of 10. And it's just like, okay, enjoy being alone for the rest of your life. Conversely, there are also women out there that say, well, in order for, I need all of these things to be true, and I need all of this stuff to be perfectly aligned and correct in order for me to be in a relationship with somebody. And it's like, okay, enjoy being alone for the rest of your life. And then there's real estate in New York City where it's, I want $300 a square foot. And it's like, okay, enjoy having graffiti on your window with a retail space for lease for the rest of eternity. I am not married, Nerd Kid 72. I am single. Happily single. Okay, what is next? What is next on this list? Turned on laptop with charger, battery disconnected. I've made a full-time issue. That's fully charged a laptop and it worked, and then it stopped, and then it randomly, oh God, yeah, randomly turning on and off. Yep, that's a great one for Paul. Next. Next. A brain dead, oh, you see another brain dead board. Yep, nope. Next. Being with someone, being alone for the rest of your life versus being with someone you have to mildly tolerate for an extended period of time. Well, again, you know, you shouldn't be with somebody that you genuinely don't like. But like, if you're with somebody that's kind of like, you know, a 6 or to an 8, and you get along with them and you like them and you have a good relationship going, or you have a good potential, but you're like, I think I can hold out for a 9. You're going to be alone for the rest of your life. You know, that's different from I'm going to stay in a toxic relationship to not be lonely. I'm going to stay in a toxic relationship to not be lonely is bad. I'm going to, you know, say, you know what? I could be with somebody that's like on my level that I actually enjoy and get along with, but fuck it, I need to have everything in my perfect way. You're going to be alone for the rest of your life. You're going to be like a fucking piece of New York City real estate. Don't treat your relationships like a piece of New York City real estate, because you're going to have a bunch of graffiti on you. You're going to have a bunch of graffiti. Oh, I was thinking of this person I saw with a bunch of tattoos that before walking in the store today. Actually, I should. That's kind of fucked up and mean. But hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Omni Steph. Thank you. What happened to Erica? We amicably broke up. She is a lovely woman, and I hope the best for her in her life with a man that is better suited for her than myself. She's a good woman, though. I hope the best for her. Let's see. Thoughts on gentrification. It's a very... I don't have any because that's a really vague thing. Don't rate people with numbers. That's the start of many issues. I'm talking about looks. Like, and it matters. Like, it's like everybody says don't rate people with numbers when it comes to looks, but everybody's doing that. I mean, have you actually used a dating app recently? One of the things that's interesting if you actually use a dating app, which I suggest against, I think what you should do is speed dating. Like, at least, here's the thing. There's 2 sub-brands here. If you do speed dating is where you talk for 5 minutes with somebody and then you move on to the next person, and there'll be a room with like 30 people. So you'll get to talk to 15 different people that night. And if you both get along, then you share, you put your information into like this little jar. And then if you both liked each other, they share the information later. Even if nobody swipes right on you in person, you had the experience of socializing with a member of, the opposite sex or the same sex, if that's what you're into. But you get the idea. Most dudes only have a choice between toxic relationship and forever alone. Point taken. Yeah, there's the other saying, if I had $1 for every woman that found me unattractive, they'd find me attractive. But the thing that's interesting about speed dating is you at the very least get the social experience. So let's say you go out 10 times and nobody likes you. At least you had the experience of speaking with somebody else. You had the opportunity to refine your social skills. You had the opportunity to refine your appearance. You have the opportunity to figure out what works and doesn't work when interacting with other people. Sitting on a fucking phone doing this all day, this does nothing for your social skills. This does nothing to improve your confidence. This does nothing to improve your ability of speaking to men or women that you want to go out with. But the numbers thing, yeah. The amount of I thought that when I was a kid and I was above 4'6", that the height requirements ended. But apparently they have not. There are more height requirements on Tinder or Bumble or OkCupid than there are at any Six Flags in America. Like, but there are a bunch of dudes out there that like they think, I could have somebody that looks a little bit better, so I'm just going to give up a relationship that I have that's going well for it. And there's a ton of dudes that I've known that have done that. Like they're with somebody that they believe is a 7 when they know that they're a fucking 4 themselves as a dude. So you're probably, you know, lucky to be off with somebody who's a 7 in looks that you actually get along with and you have a good relationship with, and like, you know, but you know, I'm gonna chase this other person that doesn't even like me, that's better looking, and then they wind up alone. I'm sure it happens the other way as well. What happened to Cynthia? What is Cynthia? Did you finish the repair? I finished 1 out of 4 repairs. I'm a failure today. I have a 25. You need a 65 to pass in high school, and I'm at a 25. It's crazy how many square feet exceeds actual square foot New York City realtors. It's actually fraud. I'm so terrible interacting with people, perpetually awkward. Honestly, try speed dating. Seriously. Like, if you jump on Tinder or Bumble or any of these other bullshit websites, you're not going to get better at socializing. You speak to a woman for 90 seconds, and even if it's the worst experience of your life, there's another one right after. And that experience sucks a little bit less. Again, who gives a shit? You're never going to see this fucking person again, and that's the point. Move on to the next one. I would try that. If you find yourself to be perpetually awkward or weird when speaking to people that you want to date, try speed dating. It's way better than dealing with Tinder, because again, at the end of the day, you're building a set of social skills that will make it easier for you later. And even if you don't wind up getting anybody that you can go out with, at the very least, you know, the next time that you have to have an interaction with a random person at your job or on the street or whatever else, you'll feel a little bit more prepared for it, because because it forces you to become used to talking to random strangers. You must be this tall to ride. Dude, truth. Where am I? I lost track of chat. Yeah, the reason I'm saying in real life is better than dating apps is because there's something to gain even from failure. Whereas online, there's like, you don't even gain anything from failure. Like there's not much to learn from it. You don't really get to improve yourself. Whereas I like situations where it's a win-win, where there's a win either way. Okay, what's next? This sounds like a shit one. That is also a shit one, but you know what? I'll leave that.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Thank you for the hard work in the tech world to protect public sector. Oh, never apologize. I apologize for not providing you $3 worth of value. Yeah, you learn from the L's, and you take in real life and become better. Or at the very least, you learn, even if you don't become better, at least, you know, you had the experience. I've decided to stop trying for now. I feel best when I'm on my own. I've never been in a relationship, but right now I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Well, you said you feel best when you're on your own, but if you've never been in a relationship, then what I would suggest is that you don't really have a basis for comparison, because you don't really know if you'd be better off. You don't really know if you would enjoy being with somebody that you care about, that cares about you, that shares your interests, that shares your hopes and your dreams, and finds everything that you are looking to do in life worthwhile to do together. So, I mean, I wouldn't write it off if you've never had a relationship. Now, if you say, I've had 10 or 20 relationships, I want to be alone right now, by all means, go ahead. But if you've never had a relationship, then I would suggest thinking about that just a little bit. It's not socially acceptable to openly objectify women, but it's perfectly fine to objectify men. I think it really depends on your social circle and who you're talking to. I know people that think it's not socially acceptable to do either, and people who know it's socially acceptable to do both. I think it's socially acceptable to do both. It's just like, you know, I won't give you shit for it if you don't give me shit for it. So like, by all means, you know, you can have an online dating profile that looks like a Six Flags. You must be this tall to get on this ride, but I'm going to do the same thing to you then. You know, I think it should be. Yeah, I don't really care if other people objectify me all you want. I'm short, going gray, losing my hair over here, look like a lunatic, have bags under my eyes. I'll objectify you right back. Okay. I need to find a machine that's not shit to fix. And these are all shit to fix or randomly crashing. Why are all these machines randomly crashing? This sucks. I need something to work on that's not. What do we have here? It's I-20. H19. Be right back. Have to disagree about dating apps being a waste of time. You learn an analogous set of skills compared to speed dating, just in terms of messaging test rather than in person. I think it's a waste. So let's say you're at a speed date, right? And you talk with somebody and it doesn't go well. You at least had the social interaction. If you're on Tinder, you can easily swipe right 2,000 times and not hear back from a single person. Or you could match with somebody, but then they don't message you back. What do you learn from that? Like if you match with somebody and they don't message you, what do you learn from that? If you swipe on somebody and they don't swipe back, what do you get from that? What do you gain from that? Has your brain really digested a social experience the same way that it does if you're, okay, for 5 minutes, you're going to talk to this person and then you're going to do that 14 new times, you know? There's not as, in my opinion, you just don't get as much out of it. Slot H19, H19. What do we got in H19? Wait a second. I got tricked. Huh? Everything here sucks.
Oh, you're grabbing the one that's brain dead. You're about to grab the one.
I was about to grab the one that was brain dead. I was trying to grab the one with the two CD3215s that were shorted. What's this?
200 milliamps fence.
Why?
I don't know.
I had one that has zero corrosion. It's an A1707. No CPU V-core, no GPU V-core, no short on GPU or CPU. Fan spins, 220 milliamps, dead. Also, power good is present. So it's being asked to make V-core, but it doesn't make V-core. Why does everything we have suck balls? Every fucking ticket here sucks.
You want us to stream it?
I know. These suck. I look like such a fucking moron today. That thing's fixable.
I have 5 flex gates to do.
I guess you could stream 5 flex gates. That would be. Why is there a cat here? Clinton. Clinton. What's with this bullshit queue? Why are we getting all the shitty jobs? The other thing is, you know, remember when we used to get machines that didn't have, that had a question mark folder and there was the light little corrosion on the side where the 2.7 volt line is, and you just run a little jumper and it works, or there's a little corroded piccolo? What happened to that? Now it's all dead controller and dead NAND.
Welcome to 2022.
This is bullshit. All the easy repairs are getting filtered out locally by all the people that watch these videos and started shops, and we get all this shit now. Everything that we get is just shit other people can't figure out.
Yes.
It sucks. I hate it. How do we go back? I want to go back in time to 2019. I guess that's asking too much. Clinton. Psst. I know, this is bullshit. Alright. Well, I got to figure out where that shorted CD3215 machine went. If it's not in that slot. Let me see the name of it. Anel visited. Jessica, how are you? Tinder is not for improving social skills, or for finding someone who also wants to be with you. Correct, but you're not going to find that person immediately on that site. And what I'm saying is that during the process of doing that, wouldn't it be good if you were learning social skills along the way that made you better at it? So that when you actually do meet the person you want, that you're slightly better apt to have a proper conversation with them. Travis, you rewind this video. Does it look like I'm cherry picking repairs? No corrosion, no CPU V-core, no physical damage, really? Thank you, Zero. I don't think I'm doing well at all. Okay, be right back. Oreo, you better shit inside the box.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Clinton probably stole all the easy air, no backlights. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the type of thing he would do. Oreo, if you shit outside the box, I got a box that's like 3 times the size of you. You better be pooping in the box, Oreo. There's a customer that's torturing Hi right now. Should I save him? I kind of feel like it's my responsibility to save him. If I were a good boss, I'd save him. I'm not. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to quit right now?
Yes.
Would you like me to end the stream and give you some...
No, it's fine.
Okay. You're a trooper, man. If you save hi, you won't learn social skills. Oh, funny. You are correct. You are correct. You know what? I'll let hi enjoy this speed date with this particular customer. It's his time to shine, right? That's his time to shine. Try J-Date. The pops in your mic are popping my speakers. Oh, well. This mic is kind of fucked up. You see this green stuff around here? The capsule broke off, and I kind of reattached it in a shitty way. I ran out of wire slack. This mic, I can't find this cheaply anymore. I can only find it for $600 or $700. And I'm too cheap to buy a new one. What? Don't laugh at him, Travis. He's getting there. He's getting there. Hello, Marco. You took a wrong turn somewhere. Randall, you have not logged into a dating app in a while, I imagine. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this MacBook over here, all right? Let's see what's going on with it. Plug it in. Plug in this MacBook. Wow, 450 milliamps at 5 volts. So one of these CD3215s is going to burn me. Should be obvious at any second now. Is your Q a metaphor for your relationship? Mike, the Q is as fucked up as my dating life, if we're going to be, or lack of one, if we're going there. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to guess that the CD3215 is shorted. Which one it is, I don't know. Also, Dan, that's not nice. Not screwing this on the board is not very nice. I'm going to screw the charge port on the board just to make it easier for me. The standard one deviation to the left and right of the bell curve, 68% of American men are 5'7" to 5'11". Yeah, tell that to people on online dating apps. Good luck with that one. Good luck with that. I've never tried that Radio Wallah, but I'm open to it. I would never pay for a prostitute. Me neither, person with a random name with random letters. I mean, I think the whole fun of it is knowing that, you know, you pursued and that the person that you pursued actually wants to be with you. Like knowing that they're with you because you cheated. I don't know, it takes the fun out of it. It's like the board working again because you took it to the Apple store and they replaced it, rather than it working again because you fixed it, you know? Like, that's what using a prostitute, I imagine, feels like. If instead of fixing the board and seeing fan spin, you went to the Apple store and they just replaced it. It's just, that's the best I can imagine. I am 5'6", Christoph. Hello, Mayor of Casper, Wyoming? You're not the real Mayor of Casper, Wyoming, are you? But nice to meet you. That's funny, Billy. That's funny. Okay, so we have a CD3215 here that's burning. Let's see if it's actually burning. The skin on your lips is more sensitive than the skin on your finger. The thermal camera software also does not work in Linux, so. Maybe. Let's see the other one. This is cheaper than getting a thermal camera that doesn't require Windows-based software. Clinton! Come here, Clinton! No, Scott, no. Let's see. Excuse me. No way, Catherine. The man is doing something to that board, yes. What if companies give the ability for the user to certify if the part installed is original, so that any aftermarket screen or battery the user will be able to accept? I mean, they haven't done that. They've just done serialization, which is if the serial number is off from the original, then we will not allow it in there. They don't have, like, right now, they don't have the ability to tell if it's original or not. They only have the ability to verify if it is the serial number of the part initially installed in the phone. That's not very fair or good advice, though. Why has it never worked for me on anything I've ever used it with in my life, Arton? It's always been a complete clusterfuck filled with bugs and misery. I had it used working with an audio plugin for a short period, but it would randomly give like random clicks and things. It's just never had luck with that. Okay, so it looks like we have two CD3215s that are fucked. The top one on here.
Mercy.
Sadly, the closest thing I've gotten to somebody coming on to me in weeks is Maria. Then that's sad, which is probably a 40-year-old, 400-pound dude from 4chan. So this one appears to be shorted because it's using 400 milliamps. This is using 400 milliamps and getting warm. On this side, you have a CD3215 over here that turns on 250 milliamps. And then you have another one over here that doesn't work at all. However, what's confusing me here is this one's not boot looping. It's supposed to turn on and then turn off, turn on and then turn off, and it's not doing that. They should be turning on and then turning off again, and it's not doing that. So do we have more than two that are not working? Because that would suck. Speaking of things that suck, there's a cat that's not covering his shit, and this is... God damn it. Oreo, you asshole. Anyway. Let's see, is there a... resistance... oh, damn it. PP3V42 has a very high resistance to ground, of course. Okay, this one's fucked. What am I measuring, by the way? Yeah, I guess I should show you guys what I'm measuring. So I'm stuck at 20 volt. I'm stuck at 5 volts. It's not going up to 20, which it should be. This board is an 820-00928. Let's find a schematic for that. Yes, my cat food thingamajiggy automatically yells my cat's name to try to get him to come over. It doesn't usually work, though. One moment, I just got to get the schematic open for this model. Which is strange, I don't actually have this one on my computer. One moment, sorry. Okay, here we go. Almost there. Just got to get my schematic. Be patient, people. Okay. So let's go through this board. We'll go through it together. So I'm getting 5 volts in the charge. God, are you serious? Okay, 1 second. I have to change the windows that are getting used right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the charge port plugs in over here. This is my little charge port for the board, the charge port. And the charge port is going to go to these CD3215 chips over here. See this little CC2 line? It's going to go over to this USB-C controller chip. Now, there's one USB-C controller chip for each USB-C port. And each one of these is powered by a line called PP3V3_G3 hot. So one thing you want to make sure is that this voltage line, voltage in, 3.3 volts, is there, because that's necessary for these to turn on. And these chips need to turn on in order to communicate with the charger. These chips need to turn on to be able to tell the charger, hi, I'm a MacBook. I'm not going to work with 5 volts. I'm going to work with 20. So it needs to have that conversation. Now, in order for that conversation to happen, the chip needs to work. So something that can happen is this chip can die. And if any one of those chips die, all the charge ports in the machine die. Now I was measuring random things around the chip. You may wonder, what is it that I was measuring? Well, there is an LDO right around that chip that is going to be something that takes like a low voltage and turns it into a slightly lower voltage. It's not really designed for supplying high amounts of power or anything like that. So right over here, each one of these chips has its own little LDO. I'll show you it over here. Here we go. So see, LDO 3V3, and it's going to shoot out 3.3 volts in addition to getting in 3.3 volts. Now, since that's coming out from the chip, and it's unique to these particular chips, what I'm doing over here is I'm actually measuring that on, and I wanted to see if that was shorted on any of these particular chips. And that's going to make it easier for me to tell which one of my chips is the bad one. So I measured on this one over here, because you can tell because it's scratched, because I suck at my job. Here we go. There we go. You could tell it's a little... Now when I measure it, what you see on the screen over there, if I stay, 4 ohms. 4 ohms. That's not very good. Now if we were to check on the chip that's right next to it, on its LDO, which is pretty much this, this cap is the one over here, this is the one over here. On that LDO, let's see what that gives us. If you get a similar reading. All right, that one is 0. 0 ohms. All right. Now we're going to check an LDO on the other side of the board. Okay, let's find the other two. So on here, there will be a cap around the chip for the LDO. We'll see what that measures. And this is pretty dusty and shitty looking over here. This is 170 kiloohms, so that's not going to be my problem there. And then we look on the other side of the board. And again, we're just going to take a look at my schematic and board view to figure out which one is for the LDO. Now again, it could be any one of these CD3215s can be bad. It only takes one of them being bad for all 4 ports to not work. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out if there's anything that sets one of them apart from the other, because if there's anything different from one to the next, it makes it easier for me to tell which is the one that I have to replace. And in this case, 3 of them are giving me bullshit readings. So let's go over this. One of them takes 400 milliamps and has a shorted LDO. That's not right. That's way too much. Another one of them does not boot loop. Do keep in mind that they're supposed to turn on and off and on and off and on and off, and it's not doing that. It stays on. The other one doesn't turn on at all, which means that we have 3 LDOs that have to be replaced. That sucks, because I'm not buying this chip directly from Texas Instruments. I'm buying them from a company that's ripping them off of other boards. And that company that's ripping them off of other boards may be ripping them off boards that were thrown away because they weren't charging because they had bad CD3215s. So you understand how this is really annoying circular logic and can be a royal pain in the ass. Well, welcome to the world of working on Apple products. So we are going to replace these chips and see what happens. We're going to replace these chips, and it's going to be some fun. And you're all going to follow along with me and see how, and see if we figure anything out, and if it works, if it doesn't work. If it works, then great. And if it doesn't work, well, it's going to work. It's going to work. Oh. My e-bike is okay, but I haven't really put much effort into it, Craftbox. I've been busy with other shit. I feel bad about that. I was going to ask Paul if he could help me rebuild some things on it, because he's a much better mechanic than I am, but I haven't even made the time to get the parts that I need to do that. Okay. The 3 LDOs don't have anything in common, Traditionalist. They're all in a MacBook. So if you take a look, that's a good question, though. So if you take a look, this LDO over here is connecting to a Thunderbolt ROM chip on the other side of the board. But this LDO on this side of the board, these both go to Thunderbolt ROM chips. Do you still watch BIOS 3 training or any other bodybuilding content? I've never seen BIOS 3 training in my life. I watch Vegan Gain stream sometimes because he has put out good content since he turned 30 and mellowed out. Do you think it's gay to appreciate another man's beauty? I don't really care if you appreciate another man's beauty. I can tell if another man is good looking. I can tell if another man is good looking without being gay. I don't think that's gay. But yeah, I don't watch any of those other channels. Now, on this side of the board, this LDO is a CD3215 and the Thunderbolt are common. However, you have another shorted LDO that literally goes to nothing but this cap in the CD3215. So, I'm making my bet on CD3215 being bad. And it's possible that I'm making the wrong bet. You know, that's always a possibility, but I don't think it is. So I'm going to use some of the Flux over here, by the way. This is Northridge Fix's Flux, and it seems to be doing just lovely. So, I might just use the entire tube of his Flux for this one repair because, well, that's how we do. Okay. Now, before I go and remove the rest of them, I'm going to double check and see that my short is removed after I remove this one chip. Rodrigo, I beat you to it, but I think the lag inherent in video and chat didn't allow it to happen. Okay, so I've removed the CD3215, and now we're going to see if after removing that one CD3215, if the short that was present is gone. So the short, it was about 20 ohms before, and it's 11 kiloohms now. So I am satisfied that that short is gone. Also, Rodrigo, very good catch. That's the second time that you gave perfectly accurate information in today's stream that made it obvious that you've been watching and paying attention all along. I hope in your country that you are fixing MacBooks and very well known for your knowledge and your skill set. I'm impressed and I'm happy that you've absorbed so much. You probably know way more than I do about this stuff at this point. But good stuff, Rodrigo. I'm fucking proud of you. You know how many times I sit here reading the chat and just wonder, what the hell am I even doing? Is anybody even listening? Has anybody learned anything from the 600 videos that I put out? And so often, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. But when I see you, that's the third time today that you've commented something that's like, holy crap. Somebody was listening the entire time and paying attention. And that kind of makes me feel like I wasn't wasting my time the entire time. And that makes all this seem like it was more worthwhile. So thank you very much. It means more to me than you probably know. It means more to me than I probably know how to let on. Thank you. Okay, so that is ready. We're going to put on a new CD3215, make sure it's not shorted, and then we're going to do that for the other two, and we're going to remove the short each time. One of the dreams that I've always had for this channel is that the people that watched from the very early days wound up, doing the same thing, and then vastly outperforming me and all of this stuff. And then, like, ideally, thank you for all you're doing, Advanced Right to Repair. I was just discussing with my dad last night as we were transferring data away from his broken cell phone. Oh, what kind of cell phone does he have? That's awesome. What happened to it? I'm gonna grab some chips. Be right back.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Yeah, my dream with this channel is that all the people that watch far surpass me in doing all this stuff and are able to do it better than I can, and then I can go to you for help. I tried that with Tim Herman earlier, but with the wrong board. That was the wrong board to be doing that with. The no V-core bullshit. Clinton! Little asshole. That cat is such a prick, but he's so cute. Awesome, Martin. What's happening with your 3115, Rodrigo? Hey, Q's Tech Service, how's it going? I miss seeing all you regulars around. It's good to see you. How's everything going? How's your repair shop? Okay, we're just going to put the right amount of flux. Define basic, Jan. Define basic. And also, it depends on what you're doing and then what kind of job you're doing. You can do it with any type of stuff that you need, as long as you use the right amount of flux. Yeah, Piernov, you don't have anybody to please, bro, because you're too damn smart. You have the problem that Duke has. Who do you please, bro, when you're already the smartest person in the profession? There's nobody for you to please, bro. Look at Piernov's humble brag. Oh, poor Piernov. When your IQ is 190, there's nobody around smarter than me to ask for help. Oh, poor Piernov. I would say Piernov's one of the smartest people in this business. I'm only giving him shit because he knows that it's true. He has a brain that many people would kill for. Thank you, Randall. I really appreciate that. I don't know. I don't mind shitcoins, Thomas. I'm not into that wasting energy shit. I have no idea. I don't mind things. Oh, Sonya, if you want to pick on Zoltan, don't give him threats. What you should do to pick on Zoltan is tell him that Tesla customer service sucks and that Elon's a scammer. He will fucking lose his shit. And it's actually kind of funny. That's what you want to do. You're taking the wrong approach, Sonya. Just say something bad about Elon. It's much funnier that way. Guess how I know that answer. Okay, so the pads are inshorted underneath the chip. If they were, then I would have had an issue, and I didn't on that one, and I didn't. When the chip was removed, the short was removed, and you'll see that the same way for each of these. Oh my God, a giant one! You have to read his comments. They're fucking horrible. Like, I pointed out a car where the fucking door trim wasn't attached properly, and he goes, "You don't understand. That was done at the end of the quarter." It's like, who gives a fuck? They sold it for $50,000. Fuck out of here. Who cares? Consumer don't give a fuck when they made it. But like, people in that world have they'll give Elon an excuse for everything. Anyway. Yeah, Sonya. I know. Just say something about Elon. It'll trigger him more. Okay, so what you want to do over here is we're gonna see if there is a short. Let's see if the short is still there or if it's gone. Short is gone. Millions of ohms. Hey, millions of ohms is a big improvement from before. You get started by just, I don't know, experimenting, John. Experiment on shit. Not school. No school. If someone gives you shit, grow roses, they smell better. How would you grow roses off of shit? Sweet mercy indeed, Paul Daniel. Sweet fucking mercy indeed. This queue is killing me. What's your queue like, Paul? By the way, have you guys ever checked out the channel of Paul Daniels? Amazing Australian repairman, programmer extraordinaire. All around good dude. His name is Paul Daniels. You should check him out. I think he's at like 20 or 30,000 subscribers now. Really cool channel. Really cool guy. Really cool repairs. Good dude. Good dude. An ohms reading identifies a short the same way that a temperature reading identifies something being cold or hot. So if there's a short to ground, there's going to be low resistance to ground. What was the worst mall cop security guard experience you had in your life? Why are they always in the biggest power trip even though they have less story than cops? You know, I don't spend any time in shopping malls. I honestly haven't had any experience like that. Every time I've ever had to deal with a security guard of any kind, they seem to really have no interest in doing their job whatsoever because of their compensation level and have left me alone. And in some ways, that's actually benefited a lot of members of my staff. In a way that I can't really openly discuss online because if I do, it'll stop benefiting them. Also, if I say it out loud, then Steve will fucking kill me. But da da da. Da 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 da. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ah. Ah. Jesus Christ. Depends on where I'm going, Alexander. Depends on where I'm going. Depends on where I'm starting from. I'm a traveler. I'm a traveler. Okay. I popped off a cap there because I'm an idiot. So I'll have to put a new one on. That's no big deal, though. No big deal. Oh, that's magic, Alex. That's magic, how I managed to create 3 shorts at the same time. See, that's a big part of why I'm trying to get Paul, Chris, Dan, and Anel to do board repair videos now instead of me. But that's proving way more difficult than I thought. I gave them a blank sheet last week. Actually, 3 weeks ago, and I said, write on this list, write on this sheet a list of the things that you would want or need to have in order for board videos to be worth your time. Put anything you'd like on this sheet. Shit, you're not. Didn't hear back in 3 weeks. I'm trying to do the other side of the union bargaining for them. But I think it would be better to showcase people that are actually physically fit to do the task at hand rather than me. Better for business advertising and all that. I had a good 6 or 7 year run at this. Okay. Where is the 00928 donors? I had a nice run. I can't be mad. Clinton? Wait a second. I grabbed the... Damn it, I need to grab the wing of the board. And I grabbed the breast. Or the... Bye-bye. Okay. Where was it? Oh, are you serious? The board that I went to grab is actually missing that same cap. Somebody else knocked it off. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, let's see if there's a nearby cap I can grab. CB305. 1 microfarad. Is this 1 microfarad? That would be really convenient. Son of a... Thank you, Michael. Damn it. The board I picked out doesn't have that same cap. Son of a... I'm looking for a 1 microfarad cap in the area. Oh, found one. Beautiful. Son of a... Did I seriously just do what I think I just did? I shot the next one away. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's try this again. One more time. I can't even pick up a capacitor. Okay. Now we're going to put 2 CD3215s on this board. Anybody excited for this? By the way, Jessica, whatever, do you remember the place that I was looking at on that block that you said is a trap? So the agent said that it seems like that sold for $75,000 over the asking price within 2 days of being listed. Yeah. That's the world now. What I don't understand about New Hampshire is the housing prices and the rent prices in relation to the actual local economy. Like, it just doesn't seem like there are enough high-paying or even medium, even middle-class jobs in that area to support the present housing market. Like, with New York City, I'm not saying I like it here very much, but I understand the reason that things are expensive, because you have the proximity to all of this wealth and job opportunity. And what I don't get is, like, when I just look at the job market in New Hampshire, or what's available, or the economy there, it just doesn't add up. Like, is everybody a drug dealer or something? Am I missing something, or... This is a dream I've had for a while. 2 chips at the same time. Any of you ever had this dream?
Oh, sweet mercy.
I'm have to a friend of a friend who struggles with addiction to dopamine. Then when it comes to antidepressants, vaping, alcohol, and soda, I want to help him improve without coming off as pretentious. Any advice? Nobody like that is ever going to be open to advice until they hit rock bottom. I've done my best with that. I've had people that were addicted to much harder drugs that wound up dying. The one thing that I would suggest is don't be afraid to be an asshole. Because if you're an asshole and they ignore you, at the very least you may be able to live with the fact that like you did what you could. But what bothered me the most in my experience, besides the CD3215 that just flew off the board, is that now he's dead, so I can't really, like, I can't go back and fix it, you know? It's not like I can know what would have happened in a different world. So, but be less afraid about coming off. Realize that your friend is not going to listen to you until he hits full rock bottom. And you're just going to have to be there for when they do hit rock bottom. Because the more you try to convince them of something that they don't want to see, or the more they feel like you're mothering them, the more likely they are to just double down on whatever behavior they have. But if you point out what's bothering them, you have to point out the changes that you notice. Point out how you know that they probably don't want to live like this. Say, listen, I don't hate you. I'm not asking you to join some 12-step program or some shit. But can you acknowledge that this is an issue? Are you open to acknowledging it as an issue? The same way I acknowledge as an issue that I can't fucking solder a BGA in 2022. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? And be open to spending time with that friend as well, to try to get them into doing something else. Other than whatever it is that's addicting them. But at the end of the day, you're gonna, if you try that approach and you finally end up pushing a little harder and you feel like you come off as an asshole, you'll feel better taking that approach and then coming off as an asshole than you will getting a phone call that they're dead.
Sweet mercy.
How to maintain a friendship if they've gone down the Alex Jones lizard politician's 5G trap and won't stop talking about it? Oh. I would suggest that they listen to some of Destiny's videos. What I like about his stuff is, A, he doesn't advocate for hating, screaming, or disrespecting people just based on having a different belief system. And he's always willing to engage with people where they are with their arguments, rather than engage with somebody based on... like, he's willing to meet people where they are, rather than just say, how dare you think something different than me, you're evil or stupid or a Nazi or whatever. And like he asks these very basic and pointed questions that make it easy to kind of bring people back from the absolute brinks of lunacy. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. His channel is good at that. Okay, so let's see if we have any difference here. I forgot what I was doing and what I was thinking for a minute there. I just had a complete staring session. Wow. I haven't, PJD. I don't watch his stuff for the most part unless somebody links it to me, to be honest with you. I don't have anything against Linus, I just don't watch all of his content, as I'm sure he likely doesn't watch all of mine. Okay. So 5 volts, 400 milliamps. There's only one CD32 that I didn't change, and I'm kind of wondering if I should change it now that we're at 600 milliamps on that one chip. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Now both of them are actually giving me a high reading. Okay, that's funny. Something's got to be hot at 500 milliamps. Well, there is one CD that I didn't replace, remember? This one up here. I completely forgot what I was doing. What am I doing? Jeez. What is... Okay, 117 kilo ohms. 3 kilo ohms. I'm sorry, I just had a complete brain fart. It's just, fairly certain I messed up one of these. I think I know which one it is, too. One moment. Pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, that's obviously it. Yeah, I spazzed that while I was working on it. Alright, the stupid 600 milliamps bullshit is gone now, at least. Yeah, it's gone with the 600 milliamps bullshit. It's at least just giving us a 10 milliamps and then going back and forth. So I'm just going to replace that chip that I spazzed out on, and I hit that chip in the wrong way while I was replacing it. Oh well. Shit happens. That's not an issue at all. The conformal coating is fine. Conformal coating's fine. I could scrape away all that conformal coating and it's still going to be okay. I could wick with sandpaper and it would still be fine. The issue is that when I was putting that chip on, I kicked it in the wrong direction. Like I do with everything nowadays. It's aggravating. Oh well. What are you going to do? You fix it and you move on. So I'm going to grab another one of those chips. I'm going to solder it on. And then this is going to work perfectly. It's going to be beautiful. One moment. Do 225 10 times. For harassing your fellow coworker. That's a...
I thought you saw his comment.
No, I saw this.
Anybody can do 12.
He did this. He was doing that so that he could hit you. That's not very fair.
We don't play that true.
That's... Well, what's the other... Okay, what's the point of that game? What, you want him to put his dick in it or something? No, that's so you could hit him.
No, it's
This whole thing with the loop below the hip is so that if somebody sees it, you get to punch them in the arm.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
There's no way.
yeah, that's how the original game is. But we
What,
don't do so.
what do you think it is?
What's this? What does this mean? Because it actually this derived from this.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, I think the circle game.
Isn't that just like I caught you?
This looks like Italians cursing at each other. That's what that is.
That's that.
Kitty. Okay. Let's put this chip on, and then I'm going to get something to eat and get out of here. Beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you... Now, one thing that's going to help you here even if you're not a spaz like me, in getting this chip aligned right, is once you put it into what you think is the proper placement for it, what you're going to do is you're going to scratch the top. Push down and then scratch it. Now, if the chip moves a lot like it just did, it wasn't aligned. However, if you scratch the top and it does not move back and forth more than the diameter of a single pad, then the placement is good and you may move on. Does that make sense? You're going to put your tweezer on top of the chip and then you're going to scratch it like this. And it should only move back and forth the distance that represents the diameter of a single pad. And once it only moves back and forth the distance that represents the diameter of a single pad, it means that most likely every single solder ball is making contact with every single solder pad, and you're good. Also, I'm going to have to move that capacitor up that's sitting over there, and that's going to be hard to do at the same time. Alright. That's also was using leaded solder, so I knew that that was going to melt before the lead-free solder on the CD3215, which is why I'm heating this again. And if you use that strategy, you can have the issues that I do with placing things neatly and have it, again, like this is my hand when I'm trying to hold it straight, right? So what one of the things that I find helps me out with this job and in life in general is coming up with compensation mechanisms so that it's like even if I'm not able to do something perfectly or I don't have the skill set, how can I come up with a way to assist myself so that I can have it at least come out looking perfectly even if I'm not good at it. And that method has always helped me, which is I scratch the surface of the chip, and once I get to the point where scratching the surface of the chip does not move the chip a length greater than the diameter of a single pad, I'm good to go. It's in the middle. So we're going to wait for it to cool for a minute. I'm going to plug this in. Going to hit 20 volts, 500 milliamps. Golden Gardner mentioned very matter of the channel. We need a cat cam. Well, the thing is the cat's moving back and forth a lot. The cat is moving back and forth a lot. How do you deal with rejection, says Aditya? Move on. Move on. Just keep it moving. If you try to go back to that person and say, well, what if I said this? What if I did that? You'll torture yourself. Just you got to keep it moving. Like if you get rejected, just move on. Again, you go out with somebody and they say, listen, I think it was great, but I can only see you as a friend. It's like, don't think to yourself, how do I convert this person into wanting to see me romantically instead of just saying I'm a friend? Just move on. If you somebody out, they go no, next. Like again, if somebody dumps you, just keep it moving. Like just next. Don't spend time thinking about them. Don't spend time talking to them. Don't spend time going over what could have been different. Oh, look at that! 20 volts! Wait, why is it 20? Okay. Yeah, turn on. Damn straight, 20 volts, 1 amp. There's no rejection in this house. What does Master P say? Make him say, I gotta get a button on my keyboard that just starts playing Master P's. Make him say, There is no short anymore. It turns on. Make him say, I don't know. I gotta stop doing that. I'm fucking ruining Master P's music right now. But every time I get something like this after an annoying board, that's what I hear in my head. By trying a bunch of people, Alexander, until you find people that are worthwhile and spending a lot of money. I've spent upwards of like $50,000 paying people that sucked at their jobs to do their jobs until I fired them. Like again, yeah. And just you have to try out random people. You're never going to know which people are good until you try them out for a little bit, and you're going to pay to try them out. So, like building a good staff is really about trying out a bunch of different people and then doing everything you can to keep the people that don't suck. There's nothing crazy about that. It's just it costs money. And a lot of new business owners are scared to do that because they don't have the money. Like a lot of people that just started out, they don't really have the money or the ability to risk that they hire somebody that's bad at what they do. Any advice on dealing with employees who have sex with other employees? One of my cooks is with one of the waitresses, but their productivity has been a third of what it used to be. At what point is it okay to fire them? That's interesting. So I had a set of employees that actually wound up getting married, but the interesting thing is they were actually more productive once they started being in a relationship together. Partly because but they were different. So these were both the type of people that were very appreciative of the work. They really liked the fact that I didn't bother them much at all. They really cared about this as a business, as if it was their own business. And admittedly, she was kind of she was the type that always kind of liked to like dig at you and pick on you and just kind of, like grate at you a little bit. And she used to do that with the work too. So if he was like slacking off or doing something, she would always be on him for it. But I never had to worry about that because every time I've had that be the case, that happened. And then there was another case where people were having sex and then they wound up getting a divorce, and that was really awkward. But I didn't have the productivity issue. You fire them when you don't want to deal with it anymore. Listen, at the end of the day, it's your money. I mean, if they want to quit with no notice, they can quit with no notice, right? So you can fire them too. I mean, it's not like you need to. Again, I don't know if you're in some other country where you're not allowed to fire people or some sort of communistic shit like that, but you're allowed to let people go. This is your money. At the end of the day, none of these people are going to care. They're not going to be there to pay your rent. They're not going to be there to console you when the business that you work to build is destroyed. If they're not doing the job, let them go. Listen, if you screwed them over as a boss, they're quitting. Then they're quitting with no notice. So if they're not doing their job the way they're supposed to, have a talk. Sit down and say, listen, I know this is not my business. Feel free to tell me to go fuck myself because this is not my business. You are an amazing employee. You were also an amazing employee. Then you guys started fucking, and that stopped being true. I don't really care about your personal life. Can you kind of explain what has been going on here? Because the thing is, I am not a multimillionaire. Everybody thinks every business owner is a multimillionaire. I'm not. We have 3 or 6 weeks of bad business, and this place is done. And I want to keep this place the way it was. Is there anything that's changed other than what I see that has changed, which is that you guys are banging? Is there anything else that has changed? Is there anything that I could be doing better as a business owner, as a boss? Do you not have the tools that you need to do your job? Are you demoralized for whatever reason? Are people treating you like shit? Are customers being assholes? Have I been an asshole? Tell me what's going on so that we can change this. And you're welcome to try phrasing it in the beginning in the way that's more charitable. You could phrase it in a way where it's more like, what have I done that's wrong? And then maybe you'll get them to open up rather than just accusing them and saying, listen, I know you two are fucking. Because here's what's going to happen. They're a couple, right? So let me just start from scratch. They're a couple. So know if they're fucking, they're probably talking about shit, talking about work and other stuff while they're off the clock. So if you were to go up to them and say, and don't even pretend, don't even let on that you know that they're fucking. If you were to just go up to them and say, listen, you guys are both great employees. You really are. Over the past several weeks, you used to work at this standard. Now it's like here. Have I been an asshole? Have I treated you poorly? Do you not have the tools you need to do your job? Have the customers been assholes? Has anything changed? Because I don't have the ability to continue paying you guys the way that I do if things continue. I'm not a multimillionaire. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not some like Jeff Bezos person. I am a person that has enough in the bank to deal with pretty much 3 more weeks of this level of performance. What can I do so that you two both work better together? And then they're going to give you a bunch of reasons up front that are total bullshit because neither of them wants to rat on the other. Because if one of them rats on the other, they're going to be in for an argument later about it. So they're going to give you a bullshit reason. However, then when they get back home and they fuck, afterwards they're going to go, yeah, that conversation the boss had? Yeah, we've been slacking off, haven't we? And she's going to go, yeah, we have, because they're fucking. And then they're going to admit that they were probably slacking off. And tomorrow, when they come in, they're going to put in their best effort. And then you may not have to do anything at all. Or maybe they come in the next day and they don't do jack shit. And they continue to suck. But at least then when you fire them, you could be guilt-free in firing them because you had that conversation with them. So there is a tendency for people who are couples in the workplace to actually self-regulate to a degree where if one is slacking off, the other will say something and vice versa. I would really try to capitalize on that. Have a conversation. Say, listen, you guys used to be great employees. This is what I observe now. What's changed? What do I need to do as an employer so that you guys go back to doing what you did before? What tools do you need? What procedures do you need to have done? What customers do I need to fire? Explain to me what I need to get back what I used to have. And they're going to give you a bunch of reasons that are most likely going to be bullshit. But the next day, once they have a talk with one another, they'll be, yeah, he's been really lenient over us flirting with each other for 3 weeks and not doing any work. And then they'll go back to work. If that doesn't work, address the reasons that they give you. If when you address the reasons they give you, nothing changes, then out the fucking door with them. That's what I would do. I don't think I gave the proper talk there, because I think the first version of iteration of that was not the proper thing. We're so communistic, people aren't allowed to quit with no notice. You should be allowed to quit with no notice, and you should be allowed to get fired with no notice. Like, that's weird. I don't know. You get to write off the payroll of a failed employee. I guess you get to... I mean, don't you write off payroll in general? If I make $50,000, but then I pay out $49,000 in wages, I profit $1,000 that month. I don't get to, like... It's not like I get taxed as if I actually made $50,000, but without being able to write off the $49,000 that you pay people. Stream Deck work in Linux. I've never been able to figure out how to get it to work. It's probably too much. Too much of a pain in the ass. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Firing without a good reason is a dick move. There's always a good reason. It's just the employee may disagree with it. Honestly, the best reason that there is this is my money and I do not want to pay you anymore. Like there's no reason more important than that. And further, when it comes to quitting, there's no better reason than I don't wish to do this work anymore. I can't make an employee come to work if they hate it, if they don't want to do this anymore. I can't force you to do that. That's slavery. And I can't, and nobody should be able to force me to give them money once I feel like I no longer wish to give them money for whatever it is they're doing, you know? I've worked with my boyfriend 8 years to multiple jobs, and we were always told we were more efficient than average employees. I think it just depends on the couple. Yeah, but that's the thing. You guys are probably you guys probably have a dynamic that self-regulates yourself. You know, Jessica. I'm betting that you have a dynamic where you would not let him become lazy, and vice versa.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Ask Shane or Anel about diagnostics. I showed them last week on Banana Book. Won't mention more here. I will ask Shane, but Shane does not come back until the weekday. Benny Suds says, where do babies come from? Babies come from people that have more successful social lives than me. That's where babies come from. That's insane, Seditionalist. That's crazy. And thank you. The reason this is my money and I don't want to pay you anymore will quickly get you sued in California. That is why I do not own a business in California. I would never open a business in California. I don't hate myself that much. Tim Herman does, though. I don't know. At that point, you just make something up. Like, at the end of the day, it's your money. And if you don't want to continue paying somebody, then like you shouldn't have to just continue giving out money for work that you don't want to pay for, that you think is bad or inadequate. That was a sad answer. Well, it's the true answer. Okay. No updates, no updates, no updates. None. Let's see. Let's choose. They also come from people that are less responsible than you. That too. That too. All right. Time to get out of here. This is a really bad board repair video. Very bad, long, boring, drawn out, horrible board repair video. Well, such is life. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. There's no cat in here, so you don't get a cat. See you next time.